Chapter 1, Beginning of the Bad. The doctor sits in front of them, holding the large egg Izuku had given him. So you're saying this came from my testing yesterday, and that it just popped up this morning? His was colored a pale blue, but the upper half of it is covered in a translucent white material, yellow ovals glowing on it in a horizontal line. Izuku nods. Yes, sir. That one felt like it was yours, and this other one felt like it was Mommy's. He points at the egg in his mom's lap. This other egg is brown and fluffy. Around the center of it is a thick extra layer of light brown fur, and on the top of it is a small pink ribbon symbol, barely visible under the fur. Dr. Tsubasa pushes up his odd glasses. Well, this is definitely odd for a quirk, even ignoring the fact that you didn't get it earlier. People getting quirks at 6 years old isn't impossible, but it is rare. He leans forward, rubbing the egg curiously. If the testing was correct, this must have been caused by physical contact. Quirk use can also cause it, so be aware of that. His mom glances at the egg as she taps her leg nervously. What do we do about this? I don't know how to handle an egg. Well, I can help with that. He reaches onto a nearby shelf, pulling out a book. This is for people whose quirks make them lay eggs instead of giving birth. I assume that should work well enough for now. She takes the book. All right then. Thank you for your help. The doctor sits his egg on the table beside him. I'll keep this for research. Now go on. I need to see my next patients. He leans back in his seat. His mom stands up, holding the egg and book. Thank you for the help, Dr. Tsubasa. Izuku grins as he stands up, holding his All Might figurine. Yeah, thank you, mister. He follows his mom out of the door. Once they got home, Izuku ended up helping his mother make a makeshift nest. They used some of the spare blankets, wrapping it up and sitting it near their heater. It sat there for a while with nothing happening. Luckily, it was the summer, so he didn't have to worry about the possibility of more eggs. He was starting to get impatient, though. After a week of waiting, the egg finally started to hatch. Mommy, it's cracking. He runs over to the egg, seeing the cracks splitting apart the furry shell, slowly spreading across it. His mom runs in the room. Oh, back up, Izuku. We don't know what's in there. She grabs him, gently pulling him back. Let's just sit here and watch. We don't have to be right up on it, Izuku. Izuku leans against her side. The cracks spread further and further along the egg until it's barely still together, most of it covered by the cracks. A dim glow starts to come from the center, getting brighter until there's a blinding flash as the egg shatters. Once the light fades, there's a fluffy brown mammal. It has light brown fur around its neck like a mane, along with some at the end of its bushy tail. Izuku scoots forward. Whoa, it's so cute. The creature hops into his lap, rubbing against his chest as he giggles. Oh, what is that? His mom looks at the animal. Well, at least it doesn't look threatening. The creature hops up to his mom, and Izuku giggles as she scrambles to catch her. It's yours, Mommy, so you get to name her. He stands up, pulling out one of his notebooks. His mother looks at the animal in her arms. I think I'll call it, her, Springy. Springy purrs in response. Ah, it seems like she likes it. Izuku opens up the notebook, writing down the name in sloppy handwriting using one of his crayons. So, can we keep her? He looks up at his mom, trying to use the most desperate, pleading expression he can think of. Of course we can. Springy climbs onto her shoulder, nuzzling her cheek. Clearly, she already likes us. He grins. Yes. He throws his hands up out of excitement, accidentally throwing his notebook across the room. Uh-oh! He goes to try and catch it, only to see Springy leaping forward, catching it out of midair. Both he and his mom blink in surprise before bursting out into a fit of laughter and giggles. Springy just carries the notebook back to Izuku, a proud look on her face. One morning Izuku woke up, feeling like there should be an egg next to him. Oddly enough, there was nothing there. Hearing his mom calling him for breakfast breaks his train of thought and he gets up, forgetting about the weirdness. After school started up again, another incident was inevitable. One morning he woke up, yawning and trying to sit up, only to feel something keeping him from doing so. Laying on his chest was a black, fluffy egg. It wasn't as fluffy as Springy's was, but it still had some fur. In the center of it was a simple symbol made of reddish-orange fur. This feels like it's Kaken's egg. He carries it with him out of the room, showing it to his mom. Mommy, this is Kaken's egg. That's nice, Izuku. His mom sips her morning tea. You can give it to him after school. We're going over to Mitsuki's to eat dinner. I'll keep it warm until then. She stands up, starting some pancakes for them. Izuku gently sits the egg on the table, grinning. I hope he likes it. Oh, I still need to get ready. He sprints back into his bedroom so he can change out of his pajamas. During recess, Izuku walks up to Kaken. Hey Kaken, my Quirk came in. Kaken turns away from his group of friends to look at him. Yeah, and what is it, Zuku? Show me. Izuku scratches the back of his neck nervously. Well, it doesn't work like that, Kaken. He leans in to whisper to him. If someone touches me or uses their quirk on me, I end up making an egg that hatches into a cool creature. Kaken scoffs. That sounds dumb, Zuku. How are you going to be a hero with that quirk? All of his friends start laughing. It isn't dumb. He pouts at Kaken. I'll show you it after school. I promise. Fine. My quirk is still better though. He holds out his hands, letting a few sparks out of his palm. Izuku nods. Of course, your quirk is the best. It can destroy to help save a civilians and it can also help pi pubia tup thebajusit so cold dash. Stop mumbling, Zuku. Kaken gently shoves him. You know it's annoying. Sorry, Kaken. Izuku smiles at him sheepishly. The teacher starts yelling that recess is over, so they all head back inside, even if Izuku has to be careful not to bump into anyone. Izuku walks into Kaken's house, smelling the familiar smell of his favorite food in the air. Is that Katsudon? Uncle Masaru shuts the door behind them before heading back to the table. Yes, it is. You got your quirk, so Mitsuki wanted to celebrate. He's busy trying to set up the dining table for them. Glancing in the kitchen, Izuku can see Kaken and Aunt Mitsuki working together in silent focus to prepare the food. Kaken is stuck doing the simpler tasks, but the two of them still work well together. His mom holds the egg in her arms, wrapped up in a blanket to hide what it is. Well, can Izuku here explain his quirk? Aunt Mitsuki yells from the kitchen. Yeah, I'm listening, even if I'm not looking. Izuku steps forward, taking the egg from his mom. Well, my quirk is called Egg Factory, though I don't like that name still. After someone touches me or uses their quirk on me, I end up making an egg while sleeping that night. It's connected to them enough that I can sense whose it is. He unwraps the egg, exposing its black furry shell. They don't all look the same, they're all unique with how they look. They hatch into these off creatures, though I've only seen one so far. This one is Kaken's. Uncle Masaru walks over to Izuku, rubbing the fur-covered shell. Are you planning to keep this or give it to Katsuki? Izuku hands it to him. Kaken can keep it, he deserves it. Mom and I got Springy anyways. Kaken walks in carrying 2 plates. It better be badass. As soon as he sits down the plates, he feels a tug on his ear. Ow! Izuku's mom sighs. She probably used her quirk on his ear. Katsuki, what did I tell you about cursing? Don't cuss unless you really mean it. Kaken pouts, sitting down in his seat. Aunt Mitsuki comes in, carrying the other 3 plates. Thanks, Inko. I would have chopped him on the head, but my hands are full. She sits down the plates. Now that we've talked about his quirk, I think it's best to celebrate it. Everyone sits down at the table, starting to eat the katsudon. It's spicier than he usually likes it, but Aunt Mitsuki manages to make it still taste good while still melting off his taste buds with slices. While eating, Kaken looks at Izuku. Hey Zuku, can you use your quirk on yourself? Izuku swallows his bite of food before responding. No Kaken, only other people's touch counts for it. Kaken scrunches his face up. That's kinda dumb. You can't be a hero with a dumb quirk like that. You're basically quirkless, ow. Aunt Mitsuki immediately chops the back of his head. Katsuki, be nice, she sighs. I'm sure you could find a way to be a hero with a quirk like that, kiddo. Don't mind my brat. His mother looks at her food instead of him. Yeah. He can't ignore how unsure that sounded. Thanks. Izuku goes back to eating, trying to ignore his dampened mood. The next morning Izuku wakes up, feeling like there should be an egg beside him. But there's nothing. His quirk must be acting up or something. He can't dwell on it since he needs to go to school. During classes at school, Izuku sees Kaken whispering to some of his classmates, and each time it ends with someone staring at him. At recess, he finds out what happened. A bunch of his classmates start chasing him. Let me touch you. I want a cool pet. Come on, let me try. Izuku sprints forward, stumbling as he desperately tries to get away. Time blurs together as he focuses on escaping. He feels a hand graze his arm once, but before he gets caught again, he swerves around a corner. Izuku leaps into a pile of trash, hiding in it. Everyone ends up going past him, and he has to hide in this smelly pile of trash for the rest of recess. Throughout the rest of the day, he's stuck dodging people trying to touch him. Someone extending their fingers to try and get him, others trying to sneakily touch his legs. By the end of class, he feels paranoid with how anxious he is. Once he gets home, he goes to his mom. Hey mommy? Can I wear extra clothes to help stop accidental touches? He decides to go with a partial lie, since he doesn't want to get Kaken in trouble. Her expression quickly softens. Of course, sweetie. It's getting cold anyways, so I can get away with giving you a bit more. She sniffs the air. We also need to get you a bath tonight. Izuku smiles at her before sitting down at the table, eating his food with her in silence. The next morning, he wakes up with a new egg. This one is blue with a black spot almost like an eye mask. On the top of it is a small metal lump. The egg was a little bit larger than the other two as well. He ends up going to school in a hoodie and sweatpants. He also has a scarf, gloves, boots, and a face mask under the scarf. People keep trying to touch him all week, Kaken riling them up. Izuku starts to get better and better at dodging, and they start to get more creative, but they know better than to be rough when the teacher's watching. Izuku even uses this by staying near the teacher for all of recess. Kaken even makes people start calling him Deku. Izuku still doesn't say anything, not wanting to get Kaken in trouble. He just keeps hiding by the teachers. The teachers never really did much, but they would still stop physical violence. Hiding by them at least made sure he wouldn't get beaten up. Near the end of the week, Kaken's egg hatches, and he brings his creature to school. It's a black cat with reddish-orange markings on it that occasionally spits embers. He named her Scorch, and showing her off just made everyone act a bit more desperately when trying to touch him. Izuku got curious at home and ended up trying to search up something about these creatures. Took way too long, but with his determination he managed to find something. These creatures were from a pre-Quirk game series called Pokémon. His mom had an EV, and Kaken had a Litten. It's easier to call them those names than creature or animal anyways. He even started playing some of those games, getting the idea to rename his quirk. Izuku wakes up the next morning. Still no egg, yet still the same sensation like there should be one he's had for a bit now. It's probably nothing, he needs to go talk to his mom anyways. Walking up to his mother, Izuku smiles. Mommy, I got a better name for my quirk now. Oh, what is it? His mother looks down at him. I know you never liked the name Egg Factory, so what's your new one? She pulls out a piece of scrap paper. Izuku grins. Human daycare, 'cause in the games, daycares are where you get the eggs. He had already told her about the games earlier since she needs to understand his quirk too, and he still needed help reading some more difficult words in them. She smiles. I think that's a wonderful name. She writes it down. I'll go get the name changed while you're at school tomorrow. Yes, thank you. He hugs his mom before running off. He ends up getting back on the computer, trying to finally beat this buff electric gym leader. A few days later, his egg hatches. A quick search reveals that this Pokémon is called Riolu. It runs over to him, hugging him. I think I'll call you Mighty. He can feel the happiness emanating from Mighty. When he goes to school the next day, Mighty follows. During recess, Mighty takes the time to train in the nearby woods while Izuku sits by the teacher. It becomes a nice routine for several weeks. But of course, it can't be this nice forever. Something had to go wrong. Today, they had a substitute teacher watching them. Izuku still sat near them, but he was worried. His worries proved right when the teacher randomly went inside alone. Moments later, Kakin grabs him by his scarf. Come on, Deku. Play with your friends. Izuku tries to struggle, but Kakin just drags him. Stop. I don't want to. Izuku tries to struggle, but Kakin just yanks on the scarf hard, making it tighten on his neck for a moment. Izuku is left coughing from the sudden force on his throat. Izuku is dropped on the ground, people trying to yank off his extra bits of clothing. He can feel sparks on his arms, claws digging into his legs, people punching him, all the pain blurring together as he screams out. A sudden noise rings through the air, like metal on skin, a thud following it as everyone goes silent. Izuku opens his eyes, seeing Mighty standing over Kakin, a little bit of blood on the metal pad of its arm. Mighty gets into a fighting pose, glaring at all the others. All Izuku's classmates start to snicker at first. Mighty flexing his hands to extend his sharp metal claws makes them go silent again, backing away and taking Kakin with them. Izuku sits up, his whole body feeling sore and bruised. Thanks, Mighty. Mighty just makes a proud noise before helping Izuku stand up. Izuku limps his way into the school, entering the nurse's office. Excuse me, miss, could I have a pass home? Now why do you… Oh, she gasps as soon as she looks at him. Of course, of course. She hands him a piece of paper after writing a bit of stuff on it. Just take this up to the office and you can go home. Be careful. Izuku smiles weakly at her before limping out with Mighty again. He enters the office as his vision starts to blur. I have a pass to go home. He raises up the pass before he can't stay awake anymore. He falls forward as his vision blacks out completely. Chapter 2: Youthful Joy. Izuku wakes up, opening his eyes only to see harsh lights above him. He sits up, hissing at how sore he feels. He rubs his eyes before looking around. He's in a hospital bed, a lot of his body wrapped up in bandages. On his lap is an egg. This one is a bit of a paler blue, and it's made of dry, almost scaly material. It has some splotches of orange randomly on it, and near the top there's 2 extra bits of blue shell on each side. He can feel that it's from one of his classmates. For the moment, he moves the egg to the side. He can see Mighty asleep on the foot of the bed and hugging his leg. Gee good more dash. He breaks out into a coughing fit. His throat is so dry, irritated by even attempting to speak. Oh, you're awake. He turns to see his mom in a chair beside him. He can't help but notice her red eyes and the tear streaks on her face. Let me get you some water, Izuku. She heads over to the sink, pouring some water into a cup before coming over to offer it to him. Drink this. His hands ache with the movement, but he's still able to grab the cup. He sips the water, feeling the liquid soothing his throat. Thanks. You're welcome, sweetie. Her expression softens before she sits back down, glancing at Mighty. He wouldn't let go of you unless he had to. He even tried to fight the doctors before they assured him they were here to help. She reaches over to pet Mighty. Izuku smiles at her. He's so nice. Mighty keeps me safe, just like All Might. He giggles before coughing again, wincing. The door opens, a doctor walking in, turning to his mom. Good, he's awake. We're here with the results of his injuries. Do you want me to speak to you outside about it? I want to hear. Izuku pouts at the doctor. His mom sighs. You can explain it here. She grabs a tissue preemptively. The doctor sits down in what looks like an office chair, reading off a clipboard. He had first-degree burns on his arms and torso, lacerations on both legs, bruises all over his body, and a broken left arm. The worst of it was some third-degree burns on the torso. My poor baby, his mom sniffs, wiping her eyes. You're sure he'll recover though, right? Yes, we are. The doctor sits the clipboard in his lap. It was difficult trying to heal him without skin contact, but we managed to do so. The broken arm will have to heal naturally though. The quirk we used only worked on burns. Izuku looks at his arm, stuck in a cast. Ah man, I write with that hand. The doctor shrugs. Yeah, but we don't want any more superpowered pets, so we can't heal you more. His mother looks at the doctor. When can he come home? Tonight should be good. The doctor stands up. I'll go ahead and fill out the necessary forms in advance. He walks out the door. Izuku. His mom looks at him, sighing. Do we need to try online school instead? He hesitates for a moment before looking down. Yeah, that might be good, Mom, sorry. He yawns. She smiles at him. No need to apologize. Now get some rest, you need it. Okay, Mommy. Izuku lays down, yawning again. He quickly drifts off to sleep, laying there comfortably while holding the egg beside him. That night he's discharged, heading home. He spends a lot of time online, since he's able to play these games even while using only his right hand. It's a pain to do so, but it's better than boredom. Mighty follows him around much more often now, only leaving him to go train. Mom even ended up buying a punching bag for Mighty to use. They eventually try to go to his school to discuss the issue. It doesn't go well. His mom looks at the principal. What do you mean you aren't going to punish them? They beat up my son. The principal leans back. Well, my son said that Midoriya is the one who started the fight by punching Bakugo. I'm inclined to believe my own kin. You little dash, she takes a deep breath. They attacked my son because they wanted to try and abuse his quirk so they could have free pets. They at least need to be taught why that's incorrect behavior. The principal snorts. Yeah, right. Your son was being stingy. Sharing is caring, and he didn't share it all with his classmates. He sips some water. They just roughed him up a little. His mom inhales through her teeth. They broke his arm. Boys will be boys. The principal sits up. But I guess I could listen to your demands. If you just gave me a dash, he reaches towards Izuku. Izuku's mother slaps the principal's hand away, speaking with cold fury. Don't ever try to touch my son again. Since you clearly aren't listening, maybe you'll be more cooperative when we're in court. Before the principal can respond, she picks Izuku up and carries him out of the room. After the incident, Izuku stops going to school there. Luckily, his mom is a lawyer, so she's probably doing good with the court case. Izuku only had to go into the courtroom a few times, and it was pretty easy even if he hated the feeling of all the eyes on him. Izuku ends up starting an online schooling program, and he honestly enjoys it. He gets to go at his own pace this way, even if his broken arm slows him down quite a bit with some of the typing. His grades are pretty decent, though it's hard to focus sometimes. Mighty accidentally breaking something can distract him, or Springy causing a mess by knocking over stuff. He still makes sure to take care of the egg, wrapping it up and keeping it warm. It's getting colder, so they have to have 2 heaters right beside it. This one takes longer to hatch than the others, taking a full 2 weeks. The flash of it hatching fades, revealing a Gibble standing there. She looks up at him, grinning. Ah, you're so cute, oof. The Gibble dives off the table into Izuku's lap. Gibble tries to take a bite out of the table, chipping one of its teeth. Hey, no eating random things. The Gibble ignores him, trying to run over to eat the new bags of groceries before Izuku picks her back up. You're lucky I know your species regrows teeth. It's hard to keep a hold on this little dragon, so he pets her to make her relax. I think I'll name you Chip. Chip nods in response before slipping out of his arms, diving towards the groceries. No, bad girl. The 3 Pokémon in the home got along perfectly. Springy would constantly climb up to high places and hide, and they ended up making it a game to try and find her. Mighty always wins. Mighty constantly has to stop Chip from eating things. Izuku has literally watched Mighty pick up Chip and throw her into a pile of blankets to make her calm down. Speaking of that, Chip seems to love blankets. It's one of the few things she won't try to eat, just making a little den within a pile of blankets to sleep in. As for the others, Mighty sleeps right with Izuku, but Springy sleeps in his mom's bed instead. After about another month, Izuku finally got his cast off. He starts to go even faster with his classwork now that he can type. He stops really going outside often. Whenever he does, he wears the same type of outfit he wore to school, covering every inch of skin. Even being around lots of people still feels uncomfortable. Time passes with him mainly focusing on his schoolwork. He gets good grades and stays inside nice and comfortable. Then, after a year of this routine, something interesting happens. His mom is sitting in her chair, petting Springy. Izuku watches Mighty as he keeps training with his punching bag. Suddenly, a colorful glow covers Mighty's body. Springy hops into Mom's shoulder out of surprise as she gasps. "Oh, what's that?" His mom looks at Mighty cautiously. "It's evolution, I think. Just like the games." Izuku grins as he leans forward. The light begins to warp, becoming more of a blob of light. The light shifts, getting taller and a little wider before it starts to refine into a more anthropomorphic body. 4 appendages come off of the back of his head, and 2 spikes pop out of the back of his forearms, a 3rd spike coming out of the center of his chest. The light fades, revealing a Lucario. Izuku runs over to Mighty, hugging his leg. "You're so big now. Come on, Mom. Come look." His mother stands up, walking to Mighty. "You're taller than me now. You'll still keep Izuku safe though, right?" She's a little bit shorter than him. Mighty nods at her before turning to his punching bag. He holds his hands together, a blue aura becoming visible around him. The aura gets pulled into his hands, collecting into a sphere that he throws at the punching bag. Now there's a gaping hole in the punching bag. And the wall. Mighty immediately starts bowing apologetically. Izuku looks at the hole in awe. "Whoa, that's so cool, you're so strong." His mom looks at the hole in shock before sighing. "Don't worry, Mighty. Hisashi and I get enough money to repair it." She pulls out her phone, calling a repair company. Not too long after that, Springy evolved too. She had become a Sylvian, her colorful ribbons flowing around her as she walked around. She often has one of her ribbons wrapped around his mom's arm as she follows her. When she isn't doing that, she's using her ribbons to help her climb up to higher areas. They end up having to buy some stuff to block off some of her paths, mainly trying to stop her from getting onto the ceiling fan. They also buy a specially made training dummy for Might that withstands most of his attacks. Even with the evolutions, time still passes on as normal. Izuku lives life as normal until he's 10 years old, where he ends up getting a bit more to do. Izuku sits on the couch in the living room watching TV. After taking a break from schoolwork, he figured some TV would be nice. All Might is on the screen giving an interview. The interviewer leans forward. "What's your advice for anyone wishing to be a hero?" "Well, that's simple." All Might turns to the camera. "Make sure to train. Relying on just your quirk can get you decently far, but it'll fail eventually. You need a strong body so you can take hits and dish out strong smashes." That gives him an idea. "Mom, could I get some training equipment too?" He walks over to his mom. His mother turns away from the dishes to look at him. "Oh, why do you ask? Would Mighty's not work?" He looks up at her. "Well, I need to be strong to be a good hero. I can't fight villains with these noodle arms." He looks at his arms and pouts. "And Mighty's dummy hurts my hand to punch, so I can't train against that." She smiles at him. "Well, I don't see why not." She turns back to the dishes. "Once I finish these up, I'll order you some training equipment. Just wait a moment." Izuku grins. "Thanks, Mom." He runs back to the couch. A week later, he had his own set of training equipment. He used the weights to strengthen his arms and the punching bag to help him with combat. He used YouTube videos to figure out how to fight. It takes him a month to build up some bits of muscle, but it works. He and Mighty start to spar, even if it's a bit difficult in the almost claustrophobic rooms. In the end it helps, as Izuku's able to learn how to adapt to an unfavorable environment. He still loses most of the time, but he learns, and that's what matters. A few months later, Izuku ends up bored. He's sore from training, and he shouldn't go overboard, so he has to rest. While he could play Pokémon, that's been getting a bit repetitive. He decides to search for something else to do. He ends up finding a server. It's called Uphill Heroes, mainly meant for aspiring heroes, hero students, and even some actual heroes. It's mostly for those who have something hindering them. Some of them don't have a flashy enough quirk, others their quirk is too weird. Several of them have quirks that don't help with heroics, etc. It sounds interesting to him, but he's not sure if he fits in it. First off, it's meant for 13+, but then again, when did he follow that rule online anyways? He didn't know if his quirk really fit here though. He still joined, filling out the starting information. Things like if he's an aspiring hero, hero student, or hero, or entering his pronouns and all that. Pokemite. Do I fit here? My quirk lets me create Pokemon eggs, but I can't control them when they hatch. They're often more like pets than fighters. Contagious laughter. Of course, kiddo. Welcome to the Uphill Squad. Anxiety manifested. Not all of us have quirk problems. Even stuff like anxiety can count. Pokemite. Oh, then I definitely fit here. I feel anxious even going outside without every inch of skin covered. Contagious laughter. Oh geez, what caused this kiddo? Only share if you're comfortable. Feels so easy to talk to these people. They're just so nice and they can't try and activate his quirk. Talking online just feels safer, so he shares a bit more than he probably should. Pokemite. My quirk is activated by skin contact, and my classmates got excited at the idea of getting powerful pets, so they got forceful. Contagious laughter. Bullies are so annoying. I know I'm a hero, but I just want to find all the bullies and shake the sense into them. Anxiety manifested. Bullies are annoying, but heroes aren't allowed to commit assault. Even as a hero student, I couldn't get away with doing that. He keeps chatting with them and other members from the server. The more he talks there, the more he enjoys it. There were even some others that seemed to be around his age. Alien Queen. Hey Pokemite, what even are Pokemon? You mentioned your quirk makes them, but I've never heard of that. Pokemite. Oh, that's a great question. They're from a pre-quirk game series by the same name. It started all the way back in 1996. Pokemon are almost like quirked animals, but they're more unique than that. They have different powers and lots of unique designs, and they like to assist their trainer. Revelry Corvus. That does seem quite interesting. I looked up the game, some of the designs are quite nice. Eigengrau Corvus. They've got so many cool ghosts. Alien Queen. I like the poison types. Some of them are pretty cool. I honestly might try and play one of these games, more fun than stuff like Minesweeper. Pokemite. Hey, Minesweeper can be fun. Eigengrau Corvus. Nah, she's right. Can be pretty boring to play, you just like it because you've got a big brain. Revelry Corvus. Yes, it can be quite dull, but I'll also try out this game series, it seems interesting. Pokemite. I'll just ignore you two insulting Minesweeper so I can focus on what else you said. I hope you enjoy the game whenever you try it. He managed to get a lot of these people interested in Pokemon, which he counted as a win. They all had to deal with so many problems. A game series to relax with is deserved. The server even ended up getting a chat specifically for Pokemon discussions. Peekaboo was the first of them to get a shiny, and he shared so many pictures of his shiny Dreepy. A bit afterwards, Anxiety Manifested got a shiny Shelder, though he was a bit more timid about sharing it since he said didn't want to brag. They almost forgot that Izuku could make Pokemon, but eventually someone asked. Once Izuku mentioned the Pokemon he had in real life, the server kind of freaked out. Contagious laughter. What do you mean you have a Gibble? And a Lucario? You got pretty lucky with those, you're a badass trainer already. Pokemite. Yeah, even as a Riolu, Mighty tried to defend me from bullies. He's still training more and more. Alien Queen. Well, you're lucky you got a Riolu back then. Imagine a Sunkern trying to defend you from bullies. If any bullies try to hurt you, just tell Mighty to bash their faces in. Pokemite. That's not heroic. When everyone started to mention the games getting a bit easy, he decided to fix that. Izuku was the first of them to do a Nuzlocke run, since he had heard of it on an archived forum. Granted, he may have lost, but now he knows better than to do one blind. Next time, he'll be prepared for Ultra Necrozma. Revelry Corvus and Eigengrau Corvus were the first to do a Soul Link Nuzlocke, even recording some videos of it to share with the server. The two of them were definitely his age, and they worked so well together, winning it on their second attempt. With all this excitement, Izuku was happy. Sure, he didn't have Kakin, but he still had friends. He had friends and a routine that let him get more and more fit. Izuku was content. Chapter 3: Shining Heroism. A few years later, Izuku was 14 years old. Not much had changed. The largest difference was that Chip evolved into a Gabite. On the one hand, that meant she no longer bit everything and only tried to bite food. On the other hand, now she steals anything shiny to add to her hoard within her blanket den. Since Chip didn't exactly have hands, and grabbing shiny things in her mouth might break them, they found a solution. He and his mom worked together to make her a black bag with fluffy white fake fur around the opening. They replaced the handle with a belt and put it on Chip's waist. Izuku had ended up accidentally finishing the middle school work early, so he didn't really have to do anything until UA started. For now, he just focused on helping people. His mom knocks on his door. Izuku, could you grab me some groceries? I would go myself, but I'm not feeling so good today. Of course, Mom. Just let me get dressed and I'll go get it for you. He gets up, going over to his closet. He puts on a black mask, a dark green scarf, a black hoodie, and some dark green gloves and boots. Once he leaves his room, Mighty walks up to him. He just points at the mask. Izuku smiles at him. Yeah, Mighty, I'm going out. Mom needs groceries. Want to come with? Mighty nods, patting his head since he's still taller than Izuku. The two of them leave the house, starting the walk towards the grocery store. He pulls out his phone, glancing at the messages from the server. He had become a bit of a Quirk counselor there, since so many people had Quirk issues. Peekaboo had to learn that you can make hero costumes out of DNA. Mirror Image needed to know that his Quirk would work with even pieces of other people's hair, ECT. Currently, the server is quiet, though most of them get out of school around this time. He just hopes none of their days were too bad again. Izuku walks under an underpass, so lost in thought he doesn't hear anything behind him until there's a voice. Ah yeah, a nice meat suit. He turns around to see two things. First off, a gigantic mass of sludge with eyes and a mouth. Second, Mighty unconscious on the ground with a sewer grate near his head. The slime wraps around him before he can even move, tightening around his limbs as he struggles. Stay still, kid. Don't make this hurt more for ya. The sludge slides under his scarf, pushing its way inside his mask. You're being a pain, kid. Izuku tries to scream, but the sludge fills his mouth. It tastes disgusting, the rancid taste on his tongue making him gag. He squirms inside the mass of slime, but it's no use. He can feel himself starting to black out. I am here, right before Izuku passes out. He hears a rush of wind pass him, the slime flying off his body. He falls to the ground, his head hitting the ground, finally knocking him out. He feels his face getting repeatedly slapped as he wakes back up. He feels something in his mouth and shoots up, pulling down his scarf and his mask so he can vomit to the side. There's barely any bile, it's almost exclusively sludge. There you go, citizen. I was worried you wouldn't wake up. A loud booming voice comes from beside him. Izuku pulls up his mask before turning to see. All Might. Omega doll Maisevidmio I really need an autograph dash. He pulls a notebook out of his scarf. You never know when you need a notebook, and hands it to All Might. Autograph, please? All Might opens up the notebook and quickly signs the autograph. Now I must go, duty calls. Wait, I have a question. Izuku ends up grabbing onto All Might's leg as he jumps, his gloves letting him keep at least a decent grip. He can barely hear anything through the wind, but he vaguely hears All Might telling him to get off. I can't, I die. They eventually land on a rooftop, and Izuku takes a second to get his bearings as he lets go. Ugh. Sorry to take up your time, All Might. I just needed to ask. Huh. He looks up to see All Might in a cloud of steam, and it clears to show him looking like a half-dead old man. Izuku blinks in surprise. What happened? Are you an imposter, or what happened? All Might sighs. This is really me, yes. He lifts up his shirt to do a wound. It looks like a crater on his side. 5 years ago, a villain did this to me, and now when I run out of steam, I turn into this. Was it Toxic Chainsaw? Izuku shakes his head. No, he wasn't strong enough. I can't think of any other big fights that year. Was it not televised? All Might nods. Yep, you're a smart kid. Now, while we're up here, what was your question? Izuku looks at him. I wanted to know if I could be a hero if I'm afraid of touch. I know how to fight, even if I don't have a physical quirk. Could I do it? No, he sighs. You saw what happened to me, and I have a physical quirk. While people with non-physical quirks can become heroes, the fear of touch could get you killed in battle. All Might walks to the door on the roof. I'd recommend being a doctor or lawyer instead. You're a smart kid. He walks down the stairs. He just stands there. His biggest hero just crushed his dreams. Should he really reconsider being a hero? A ding comes from his phone suddenly. Contagious laughter. Hey Pokemite, your yo-yo idea worked perfectly. It surprised the villain, and it let off a shock with each hit. If you keep those brains and use them for yourself, you'll be a great hero. Smiling at his phone, he sighs. Even if All Might doesn't believe in him, that's fine. All Might doesn't know him, but his friends do, and they believe in him. That's what matters. He hears a noise, so he goes to the side of the rooftop. Looking down, he sees Mighty waiting for him. Izuku climbs down the side of the building to get to him. Heya, Mighty. Hopefully I didn't keep you waiting too long. Mighty points forward to a random spot in the distance. Izuku is about to ask what he means when he hears a bunch of explosions from that direction. Oh, you felt those auras. Alright, we'll check it out. Izuku starts sprinting in that direction. Once he gets there, he sees the sludge villain, someone trapped inside him. There's fires everywhere, and the heroes are only cleaning up the mess around, not actually dealing with the problem. They talk about how they don't have the right quirks for the job. Then Izuku spots who's inside it. Kaken from all those years ago. Shit. Mighty turns to him, tilting his head. Let's help out, since these heroes are being cowards. Izuku and Mighty shove past the police boundary line, running straight into danger. An aura sphere manages to destroy some of the slime, but that just annoys it. Oh, you came back for round 2 with your pet? I guess I can do the honor of killing you too as well. Sludge shoots towards Mighty, starting to engulf him. Mighty counters the slime, sending it all flying back. Izuku takes the opportunity to tear through the slime surrounding Kaken, as it's now a lot thinner. Kaken blinks in surprise. Deck nerd, what the hell are you doing here? Saving you. He yanks Kaken out of the slime. I got him, Mighty. Mighty nods, extending his metal claws. He slashes through any slime in his path, getting to Izuku and taking Kaken. Mighty sprints over to the heroes, Izuku right behind him. The medics take Kaken, and the heroes pull Izuku aside. Death Arms glares at him. That was really stupid of you, kid. If we couldn't do it, why the hell did you try? He tries to put his hand on Izuku's shoulder. Izuku flinches away before he can, and Mighty starts growling. Well, at least I succeeded. He looks back at the crowd, seeing the new hero Empty Lady scoop up the sludge villain as he tries to escape. Death Arms pushes Mighty away. Tell your weird dog to back off. He's not a dog. Izuku steps beside Mighty. You could have helped there anyways. You could have just punched him in the eye and then saved Kaken. But instead you just sat there like a coward of a hero. He turns and runs before Death Arms can respond. Izuku ends up stopping in a street a good distance away, turning to Mighty. You okay, bud? Mighty nods. His ears perk up and he turns suddenly. Izuku turns to see Kaken approaching. Kaken stomps up right in front of him. I didn't need your help, you know that? I could have handled it on my own. I'm gonna dash. He stops himself, letting a few sparks out of his palms as he takes a deep breath. I better see your ass at UA so I can prove that I'm the best hero, a better one than you. And with that, Kaken stomps off. Izuku blinks in confusion. I guess that's an improvement? Mighty shrugs. He looks like he's thinking for a moment before his eyes widen and he facepalms. Huh. Izuku thinks for a moment. Shit. I still haven't gotten groceries. He groans. At least we're not far from the grocery store. He starts to jog forward, Mighty following. Only a few minutes into the walk, All Might runs in front of him, still in his weakened form. Wait! Huff, wait up, kid. He puts his hands on his knees, gasping for breath. I hate, Huff, these old legs. What do you need, sir? I was just going to get groceries. Izuku steps back. All Might takes a deep breath before he stands up fully. Sorry about that. I wanted to talk to you, but I can walk and talk, so I don't hold you up too much. Izuku sighs. All right. He starts to walk, seeing Mighty tilt his head curiously before following beside him. Thanks. All Might follows on the other side of him. I want to apologize for earlier. I was in a bad mood, and I ended up being too rude to you. He sighs. I see now that you have the brains and skills to succeed, along with your friend, pet. Mighty lets out a barking noise that sounds awfully like snickering. Izuku smiles under the mask. It's a mixture of the two. I prefer to think of him as a friend though. Being praised by the #1 hero wasn't what he expected from today. All Might nods. Fair enough. He glances around, seemingly checking the area for people. There's currently no one else on this street. Even though you could be a hero with your own abilities, I'd like to help. I'd like you to be my successor. Izuku stops, turning to him. Huh? Your successor? How would that even work? Well, All Might sighs. I can't explain it out here. Could you meet me at Dagoba Beach tomorrow morning? I could explain it then. He starts walking again as he nods. All right, I can do that. Thank you, All Might, sir. He can already see the grocery store up ahead. At least it wasn't too far. All Might smiles at him. You're welcome. Also, when I'm in this form, just call me Toshinori. Izuku nods again. Got it, Toshinori. Toshinori gives him a thumbs up. There we go, that's better. I'll go now, see you tomorrow. He shakes Izuku's hand before walking off. Looking down in his hand, he can see 2 10,000 yen bills. Well, I guess this can help pay for the groceries? Hopefully this isn't just a bribe. He turns to Mighty. Let's get this over with. They head into the grocery store. Izuku walks back to his house, seeing Chip sitting in front of the door. She's glancing around worriedly before she spots him, running over. He pats her head as she hugs his waist. Yeah, I'm okay, Chip. I got you something. He reaches into his pocket, pulling out a shiny rock he found on the ground. Her eyes light up, and she uses her claw to open her bag. Izuku drops the rock into her bag. Now let's make sure Mom's okay. He opens up the door, letting Mighty and Chip go in first. His mom is sitting on the couch, wiping her eyes with a tissue. She quickly turns to the door when she hears them. Oh, Izuku, are you okay? What happened? Izuku takes off his extra clothing first. Well, first off, I still managed to get the groceries. He sits the bag on the kitchen counter. You know, I'm not worried about that. She gets up, walking over to him. Are you okay? You look so long. And I saw the news. What happened while you were gone? Well, He tells her everything, even the stuff about All Might. Izuku trusts her too much to keep that information from her, after all. She hugs him tightly. Oh, not even a hero student and you've already gotten attacked by a villain. I'm glad you're okay. She pulls him over to the couch, sitting down. He sits down next to her. Yeah, though I'll need a thorough shower later. Springy hops into his mom's lap, and she lets her gently. As for the stuff about All Might, he's a bit of an idiot for saying that stuff to a teenager on a roof. But I'll still let you go talk to him later. Just make sure to keep me informed too. Izuku nods, leaning back into the soft fabric of the couch. Yeah, I will. I don't want to accept anything sketchy without your input. His mother smiles at him. At least Katsuki seemed nicer when you saw them. I didn't want to take legal action on him back then, and it seems like telling Mitsuki did him good. We'll see when I get to UA, he'll definitely be there. He stands up, stretching. I think I'm going to go back into my room for now. Need to text my friends. Love you. She smiles at him. Love you, Izuku. Go talk to your friends. Pokemite. Hey guys. I may have gotten into a villain attack today. I won the second time though. Contagious laughter. So that was you on the news. You're gonna give me a heart attack, kiddo. Contagious laughter. Wait, what do you mean second time? Peekaboo. That Lucario confirmed it. He mentioned having Mighty the Lucario. Pokemite. Yeah, I had to go shopping. I took Mighty with me, and then got attacked by the sludge villain. I almost died, but All Might saved me. Then a bit later I saw an old family friend getting attacked by the villain and I just had to help. Alien Queen. You and Mighty worked damn well together. Revelry Corvus. Those heroes were cowards. You showed them your light and shine brighter than they could have ever hoped to. Eigengrau Corvus. He means that those heroes were being scared little babies, and you did way better than they could. Pokemite. I just knew I needed to save him, he would have died otherwise. Those heroes tried to chew me out afterwards. Contagious laughter. They tried to chew out you. Our adorable Pokemon nerd. That's it. I'm going to forcefully revoke their hero licenses. Anxiety manifested. Don't do that. You'll get arrested. Mirror image. Just take your class to their agencies and vandalize it as an art assignment. The running afterwards will just be a test on their parkour skills, obviously. Contagious laughter. Perfect. Thanks for the idea. I'm sure they'd love to try out some spray paint. Pokemite. I swear with you guys, I'm gonna go take a shower. Bye guys. He gets up off his bed, smiling at his phone. He has to step over Chip's blanket den, walking into the bathroom. He needs a long, thorough shower. Chapter 4: Raw Potential. The next morning, Izuku wakes up, only to see a Pokemon egg beside him. Oh son of a, what's this one? The egg is mostly green, with a flowy stripe of yellow around the center and some blue at the top and bottom. Feels slimy to the touch. This one feels familiar, though it takes him a second to figure out who. Oh great, it's from the sludge villain. He sighs before picking it up, carrying it into the living room. His mom turns to him, her eyes widening at the sight of the egg. Oh, it's been so long since your quirk went off. Who's this one from? On the table is a bunch of paperwork organized carefully, probably about her latest case. Springy is currently asleep on top of the fridge. Chip is trying to jump up to get a shiny magnet on the fridge while Mighty keeps moving the magnet higher up. Izuku sits the egg on the table before going to the closet. It's from the sludge villain that attacked me yesterday. He opens up the closet, pulling out the egg hatching equipment they hadn't used in forever. I'm still going to take care of it though, it deserves it. Oh, she looks at the egg. You're so sweet. I don't know if many people would have the heart to do so after that. She smiles at him, sitting down her paperwork. He smiles back as he wraps the egg in a comfortable blanket as a nest. Picking it up, he sits it down by the open window. I'm just doing what's right. Hopefully it's warm enough for it. His mother gets up, hugging him. It's okay. I'll handle the egg for now. You have an important meeting to go to, so better get ready. Izuku hugs her back before letting go. All right, thank you. I don't want to keep All Might of all people waiting. He runs back into his room to get ready. On the walk to the beach, Izuku has on all his extra clothing, hiding almost all of his skin. Both Mighty and Chip decide to come with him, though Chip was probably just worried after yesterday. He remembers hearing about this beach before, since it was basically a dump. Companies dumped trash here illegally, and people littered all over it. When he gets there, it looks and smells as bad as he expected, perhaps worse even with his mask blocking some of the smell. This smells like rotten food and metal. Yuck. Mighty starts to test out his parkour on the trash mounds, hopping from different pieces of trash without collapsing them. Meanwhile, Chip is busy scavenging shiny things from random piles of trash, stuffing them in her bag. There you are, my boy. Izuku flinches at the sound, whirling around to see Toshinori standing behind him, looking a bit sheepish. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I'm glad you showed up. Izuku sighs. It's all right, not the first time it's happened. Toshinori looks at him. First off, what's your name? You never told me yesterday, and I kinda need to know what to call you. He flinches from the sound of one of the trash piles collapsing. I'm Midoriya Izuku. What exactly did you mean yesterday about me becoming your successor? Toshinori chuckles. Straight to the point, I see. Well, I want to give you my quirk. Give me your quirk? Izuku puts his hand on his chin, starting to mutter. I thought no quirk could be transferred, but maybe there's the slim possibility of one like that? It still feels far-fetched, but then again no one could guess your quirk, so it kinda makes sense, but it would make us need to rethink quirks as a whole dash. Slow down, my boy. Toshinori sits down on a piece of trash. I can explain most of it, just give me a moment to talk. Izuku sits on the sand. All right, sorry. Leaning forward, Toshinori starts talking. My quirk was passed on to me called One for All. Since the dawn of quirks, it's been passed on like a sacred torch, being strengthened by each user. It stockpiles their power, and when I pass it on, it'll be even stronger than it was for me. I'm offering you my quirk. That's a lot to process. He thinks for a moment. I want to accept, since it'll help me be a hero, but I need to ask my mom first. Toshinori coughs up a bit of blood. Ask your mom? This is a very confidential secret. Not many people are supposed to know about it. Izuku stands up. My mom is a lawyer, and I trust her with my life. She'd keep the secret. Standing up, Toshinori sighs. All right, I see your point. I'll talk to you and your mother then. Though I do have to ask, what is your quirk? I'm curious, since you have those creatures. Chip pulls a shiny copper pipe out of a trash pile, making it collapse while Mighty is standing on top of it. There's a moment of silence before Mighty starts barking angrily, leaping towards Chip. She immediately starts fleeing, sprinting in the opposite direction. Well, my quirk makes a Pokémon egg if someone touches me or uses their quirk on me, though it gets made while I'm asleep usually. Izuku pulls out his phone, showing a picture of the sludge villain's egg. Toshinori leans forward to look at it. And those hatch into those creatures? Izuku nods. They're called Pokémon. That egg is from the sludge villain touching me yesterday. I see. Toshinori winces at the mention of the sludge villain. Well, let's go talk to your mother now. I'll follow behind you. He texts his mom so she knows they're coming first. All right, let me get those too. Izuku turns to the trash, pulling down his scarf and mask. Mighty! Chip! We're leaving now. Mighty walks over, carrying an unconscious Chip in her arms. Izuku sighs. You can't just beat her up when she annoys you. He pulls his mask back up. All right, let's go now. He starts walking towards his house. Izuku enters his house. Hi Mom, we're here. He sits on the couch with Toshinori. Mighty just carries Chip into Izuku's room, probably to put her in her blanket den. His mom walks away from the egg, turning to look at them. Welcome back, Izuku. Hello, Toshinori-san. She stands in front of the table. Now, my son mentioned that you told him some things. I just want to know for the sake of my son's safety. Toshinori sighs. All right, I'll explain it. And he does, explaining everything he said to Izuku. Since he's heard this before, he just decided to look at Springy. She's currently having fun playing with a rainbow ball, knocking it around with her ribbons. He hears his mom sigh and he decides to focus back on the conversation. His mother looks at Toshinori. Well, that was a lot, but I can understand it. At least it didn't come with a supervillain nemesis or anything. Toshinori looks down sheepishly. Well. Izuku turns to look at him. Wait, what? He takes a deep breath. Just start talking. I didn't want to inform you because I'm pretty sure he's dead. Toshinori sighs. But to tell you about this, I'll have to tell you about the origins of One for All. Toshinori speaks to them about two brothers. One with a hidden quirk and another with the ability to take and give quirks. He tells them how two quirks fused to make One for All, and how the first user fought against his brother with it. They're told about how All for One hunted down every user, including All Might's predecessor, and then he gets to his own fight. He sighs, looking at them. When I fought him, I bashed his head in as he made a dent in my side. He's got to be dead now. Izuku shakes his head. Wait, did you even recover a body? Toshinori looks away. Well, no, but dash. His mom facepalms. You can't declare someone with multiple quirks dead without a body. She sighs. If he's lived that long, he probably would have found a regeneration quirk that could even survive that. Exactly, Izuku nods. Though even if it comes with a nemesis, I'll still take it as long as Mom will let me. Toshinori turns to face them fully. I guess you have a point. I was so desperate for him to be dead that I chose to believe a lie instead of facing the truth. He rubs the back of his neck. But if you'll still take it, I'd like you as my successor. Springy hops into his mom's lap, and she pets her while taking a deep breath. Well, if he still wants the quirk, I won't stop you. But keep me informed. Got it. Of course, ma'am. Toshinori nods. Before he can take my quirk, he'll need to have more bulk. Izuku lifts his shirt up to show his abs. I've done some exercise over the years, so I've got a good amount of muscle already. He quickly puts it back down. Toshinori blinks in surprise. Well, that helps. He leans back. I was thinking of having you clean up trash on Dagoba Beach, since that would also be some good community service. His mom smiles. Oh, Dagoba Beach. That beach used to be so pretty. If you clean it up, we can take all the Pokémon there to play. Then I'll do it. Izuku stands up. I can handle cleaning up trash. Plus my gloves can help keep me from getting cut by rusty metal. He stretched some. I've been slacking a little on my workouts anyways, so I'd be honored to do this. Good. Toshinori smiles at him. I'll send you a diet plan too, since that'll help. We can start the cleanup tomorrow. His mother nods. All right, just give us your phone number and I'll even give Izuku some trash bags as he leaves. She hands Toshinori a blank piece of paper and a pen. Toshinori writes down his phone number, sitting the paper on the table. I'll take my leave for now, I've talked enough. I'll see you tomorrow, Midoriya. He walks to the front door, leaving. Izuku's stomach growls. Are you ready to fix some breakfast, Mom? She sighs. I was ready half an hour ago. Let's eat. I got an annoying case to deal with later, so I'll need the energy. He walks into the kitchen. Let me guess. Another Endeavor case? His mom enters the kitchen, using her quirk to grab her frying pan. The Endeavor ones are always difficult. His lawyers are a pain to argue against. The two of them both sigh before starting to work in silent harmony. Izuku trains with All Might on the beach for the next few months, cleaning up trash. For the smaller pieces, he just dumps them in a bag. But with the large pieces, he picks them up and tries to get them to the dumpster as fast as he can. He had realized early on that he's best with speed, so he needs to train that while bulking up. He wants to be bulky but lean. While dragging a fridge with a buffed-up All Might on it wasn't fun, it still helped him realize that while he is decently strong, he isn't nearly as strong as he wants to be. He needs to do better. He also makes sure to try the new meal plan. It's a bit bland, but some of his mom's seasoning techniques fixes that issue. He makes sure to follow it as closely as possible. He doesn't want to ruin his progress. A few days after starting, he sees something peculiar on the news. The news reporter shows images of 3 hero agencies. A masked group of 21 people have defaced these buildings. The only connection between them is that these heroes were all present at the Sludge Villain incident. Death Arms Agency has things like Noodle Arms, Death Coward, and Scaredy Cat written on the side. Kamui Woods got Can't Get a Wood, Rotting Wood, and Baby Wood written on his. Finally, MT Ladies got Dumb But, MT Cleanup, and House Stomper written on hers, along with other things. Izuku blinks at the screen. No, surely she wouldn't. She would. He sighs, pulling out his phone. Pokemite at Contagious Laughter. How many students are in your hero class again? Contagious Laughter. 20 students, though I have absolutely no clue why you'd be asking. Pokemite. That was you and your class committing vandalism, wasn't it? Contagious Laughter. Maybe. They all enjoyed it and that's what matters. Together and apart. That was some pretty badass stuff. Anyways, just don't get caught. Mirror Image. I knew my suggestion would work well. Those heroes weren't doing their job well. They deserved some criticism. Pokemite. At least you didn't vandalize Backdraft. He was just doing his job putting out the fires then. He probably trusted the others to save the hostage. Baby Eraser. You should have punched Death Arms that day. He would have deserved it. Also stop changing my username. Guys. Mirror Image. Oh, come on. That fits you much better than Sleep Talk. Contagious Laughter. You can't deny it. We've seen your fanboy tendencies already. Baby Eraser. I hate you all. Even while training, he still keeps track of the egg. Even if he hates the circumstances that caused it, he can't punish the Pokémon for it. He still needs to take care of it. About 2 weeks after he starts training, the egg starts to shake. He didn't notice it the other time since he was younger, but now he realizes that it shakes for a bit of time before hatching, just like in the games. Once he notices the shaking, he keeps a closer eye on the egg, just waiting for the day it finally hatches. And the next day it happens. Izuku sits by the egg watching it shake. His mom is currently at work, so he's alone with it. All right, let's see what this is. The slimy exterior suddenly hardens as it starts to crack. The cracks slowly grow, spreading along the outer shell. Takes a minute, but it covers the full egg, shining with light before flashing and shattering. Left where the egg was is an Alolan Grimer. It's made of green sludge with some yellow sludge around its mouth. It even has 2 white teeth. The Grimer hops into his lap, making a happy gurgling noise. He shivers at the familiar feeling of slime on his body, trying to shake off the uncomfortable feeling. I'll call you, Rek. Rek slides down his leg before leaping into the trash can nearby. Wait, dash. By the time he pulls Rek out of the trash can, he's already inhaled all the trash, having a proud look on his face. You're either going to be very helpful or a large problem. I'm hoping for the former. He puts Rek on the ground, trying to shake the phantom sensation of slime on his hands. From that point onwards, Rek starts following him around constantly. If he ever has any trash in his room, instead of throwing it away, he just tosses it to Rek. Rek also comes to the beach with him. Rek looks at the beach like it's a glorious feast, chowing down on anything he can swallow. Izuku has to toss him in the dumpster sometimes so he can actually exercise. Luckily, Rek likes being in the dumpster, only leaving it when Izuku calls his name. After a bit, Rek seems to notice how uncomfortable Izuku is with touch. He just gives Izuku random things like seashells and some of his poison-filled crystals, smiling up at him before wandering off. Izuku just pocketed the crystals for later, though he appreciates not having to feel that slimy sensation more. Chip sometimes has to fight Rek over a shiny thing, since they both like shiny trash, just for different reasons. Meanwhile, Mighty has one section of the beach he prefers to train in. He's practically shredded most of the trash there, mixing it into new piles so he can keep working. Izuku spends most of his time just carrying trash while listening to music. Slowly but surely, he starts to see improvements. At one point, he could actually pick up a fridge. Sure, it was difficult, but he could do it. The months pass slowly. Izuku cleans up the beach section by section, going from the land to the shore. About halfway through he gets to Mighty's section, having to pick up all the shredded pieces of garbage. Izuku keeps going, working until he finishes a month ahead of schedule. Izuku looks at the beach empty of trash. He still has his full outfit on and it's hot as hell, but he did it. Glancing at his phone, he sees a picture of what it looked like before mountains of trash. He looks at the sunset, taking a deep breath. Fuck yeah. He grins under his mask. Mighty smiles at him, while Chip just sits mesmerized by the sunset. Rek is eating the last piece of trash beside him. That's my boy. Izuku flinches, whirling around to see Toshinori. Scared you again? Huh? I'm just here to marvel at your progress. Izuku sighs. Sorry, I should have more awareness. Toshinori chuckles. It's fine, you're allowed to be inexperienced in some things. Definitely still skilled though. You finished this a month ahead of schedule. Yeah, you're right. Izuku pets Chip while still looking at Toshinori. Do I still need to wait for your quirk? It's fine if I do. Mighty sits down in the sand, letting Rex sit in his lap. No, I think you've earned it. He looks at Izuku. If you're ready for it, I'd like you to inherit one for all. Izuku nods, smiling under his mask. Sure. What do I need to do for the transfer? Toshinori reaches up, grabbing his scalp. You need to. He buffs up into his hero form, yanking out a hair and holding it out to him. Eat this. What? Coughing out a bit of blood, Toshinori goes back to his true form. You need to consume DNA to go through with the transfer. I feel like this is better than blood. Izuku sighs. All right, I'll do it. He takes the hair, rolling it around his finger before pulling down his mask so he can eat it. Yuck! Toshinori goes to pat his back before stopping as Izuku flinches. Well, there you go. The amount of time it takes for it to settle in is kinda random. Though I've heard meditating can help speed it up. He shrugs. Worth a shot. Nodding, Izuku sits down in the sand. Yeah, you're right. He closes his eyes, trying to focus. He sits there for who knows how long, trying to clear his mind. After some time, he feels something within him. Unlike a flame or a torch, this feels like pure, raw energy. He thinks about how All Might just used the quirk for physical fighting, and the energy shifts. Izuku opens his eyes. He can see auras flowing around everyone. He can feel it for at least a mile out. It's a little bit much, but it's manageable, until his focus slips. Sadness flows into his mind with happiness sparking its way through. Anger burns through his soul with fear twisting into it. Hatred melts into his heart while love blooms in remains. Every single emotion in a mile radius overwhelms his senses. I can't dash, it's building up within him, all the auras not just being felt, but being absorbed. He feels far too full, tears flowing down his cheeks. He can't hold it in anymore. It's pushing against every part of him, trying to find one little spot to burst out of. It's just too much. Izuku cracks. Chapter 5, Unstable Aura. Mighty, since his birth, has been loyal to his trainer. Izuku has a desire for justice and good in his heart, and it permeates his aura. Sure, there is anxiety and fear in it, but a heroic heart is at the core of that aura. Since he has the ability to see these auras and use them, he knows their familiar look. A multicolored, pulsing energy flowing around people like an outline. The colors are so abstract he can only feel what they mean, different emotions. But he's still familiar with them even with their abstract nature. Because of that, he knows when something changes. Mighty watches as Izuku meditates on the beach. Toshinori mentioned it had been a good 10 minutes, and around then something happened. Izuku's aura flares up, becoming more erratic. Mighty tries to bark to get Tashinori's attention, but he just gets a confused look in response. Then he notices it. Everyone's auras are getting siphoned, just like when he's using Aura Sphere. They start slow, like they're being resisted, before all of the auras from within a mile radius get absorbed right into Izuku. He starts to bark more as Izuku's aura becomes erratic, mixed with so many others. Tashinori looks at him again. What is it this time? Izuku stands up, his eyes opening and glowing an erratic mix of colors. I can't dash tears pour down his face as he gasps for breath, his aura pulsing chaotically, incomprehensible. Tashinori steps forward. What's wrong, Midoriya? What's happening? Mighty feels something shift, yanking Tashinori back. Izuku screams as aura energy explodes out of him in physical form. Instead of Mighty's controlled blue color, this is a multicolored mess, pulsing in a sphere of emotion around him. Tashinori tries to run into it, but Mighty stops him. Let me go. I need to help Midoriya. Mighty reaches out, pulling some of the chaotic energy into his hand. It's a bit difficult to control, but he can do it. Then he tosses it at a boulder to show how it breaks straight through. Tashinori nods reluctantly. Fine, just go help him. Mighty runs into the mass of aura. His own aura solidifies around him, keeping him safe from the writhing energy. Once he's inside it, it's chaos. Auras carry thoughts, so he can hear the voices of hundreds speaking everywhere, all at once. He forces his way into the center of it all. Izuku is just there, floating in the aura. All of his clothes were seemingly annihilated by the energy. He keeps shifting around, like the aura is the only thing stopping him from falling. So Mighty leaps up and grabs him. He manages to get Izuku to look at him, seeing his trainer looking almost dazed from all the pain this probably caused. Mighty attempts to get his attention, punching the air in front of him as an example. Izuku copies him, his punch sending the ball of chaotic aura flying away into the ocean. Once Mighty has them both land safely on the ground. Izuku is already unconscious, but his arm has bones sticking out of it and he's still twitching. Tashinori buffs up, holding his hands out. What the hell happened? I was worried something would happen, but even then One for All isn't supposed to do this. I'll get him to Recovery Girl. Mighty quickly hands Izuku over. While All Might dashes away, Mighty picks up Rek and lets Chip climb on his back. They're both confused, scared, and worried. He feels the same as he starts to follow Tashinori towards the large building labeled UA. Izuku wakes up in a void, not able to see his body. He feels calm and safe here, away from the pain from moments before. On one side of himself, he can see 8 lights, shining from the distance like stars. He tries to reach out towards them, but it's no use, they're too distant for now. On his other side, there's a large orb of pure energy. He reaches out, and even if he can't see his hand, he can feel when he makes contact. The orb suddenly splits, popping apart into 18 different spheres of energy, each one a different color with a symbol on it. They all flow around him, before gathering together into a large orb once again. He reaches out to touch it once more. This time, instead of it breaking, it absorbs into his very being, his eyes being filled with bright light. Izuku opens his eyes, the harsh lights making him wince as he closes his eyes again. He sits up, hissing at the pain all over him. Blinking a few times, his eyes adjust to the light around him so he can actually see. Mighty is asleep in one of the chairs, with Rek sleeping in his lap. Chip spots him, running over and making a happy growling noise before running off. A few moments later, Recovery Girl enters the room. All right, you're finally awake. You've been asleep for about 5 hours. She hands him a cup of water with a straw in it. He takes the water, drinking it from the straw. It soothes his dry throat enough for him to speak. What happened? Chip runs to the bed beside him, smiling. He makes sure to pet her before turning to Recovery Girl. She pulls up one of the chairs, sitting on it. Well, first off, what do you remember? Also, I know about one for all, so don't be afraid to mention it. I remember trying to use one for all, feeling raw energy inside of me and my thoughts making it shift, feeling the emotions of everyone within a mile and then accidentally absorbing them into me. And then, he shudders at the memory, overstimulation and pain. Recovery girl sighs. All right, well, apparently that emotion burst out of you as a sphere of energy. She points at Mighty. He went into the sphere to help you, and whatever he did to make it stop ended with you punching the energy away. She pulls out a clipboard. As for injuries, severely broken arm, a few broken ribs, and you had muscle spasms all over. He sighs, sipping some more water. Anything else? He pets Chip again, letting her calm down. She was probably pretty worried. Injury-wise? No. But other than that, come on in, Toshinori. She scoots her chair back some. Toshinori enters the room with a large bag in his hands. He gets to the bed before reaching into it, sitting 3 Pokémon eggs on the bed. One of them is pink with a thick white line on the lower half of it. Under the line, it's all hot pink. This one, it's yours, recovery girl. He hands it to her. The next one is a fluffy gray egg. It has a white stripe near the top that feels like it's made of wool, and it looks like a headband. This one is yours, Toshinori. He hands it over to him as well. Toshinori looks at him. But this is yours. I can't just keep it. Recovery girl nods. Yes, I can't just keep a random animal here. It wouldn't be good for my patients or my job. Izuku shakes his head. Well, Toshinori, I want you to keep yours, and I'm sure whatever Pokémon you get will love you. He turns to Recovery Girl. Also with you, since my Quirk often bases the Pokémon that comes out after the person, you'll probably get one that can help you with taking care of patients. Recovery Girl sighs, sitting the egg in her lap. All right, I see your point. Now what's that last egg? He turns to the last egg. Let's see. The egg is purely colored pink. No designs or anything, just a pink egg. This egg is mine. He blinks in confusion. My Quirk doesn't work on myself, though. Indeed it doesn't. Izuku flinches, turning to see the principal of UA, Nedzu, entering the room. Sorry for the intrusion, but I just had to come in when something interesting was happening. Izuku sits down his drink. Sorry for that, sir. Do you have any idea about this? You are one of the smartest people. Nedzu smiles. No need to apologize. He walks beside Chip, smiling at her. You just got one for all, correct? Maybe it has something to do with that. He starts to think. Well, maybe one for all enhanced me so I could use it on myself, but that doesn't make much sense. What if because I got one for all and used it, the Quirk being used on myself counted for human daycare? If that's true, then dash. Toshinori chuckles. You're going on another mutter spree, Midoriya. Izuku turns to him. Ah, sorry. Pity, I was enjoying that. Nedzu sighs. Well, I'll take my leave for now. Don't worry, Midoriya. I already signed your notebook. He walks out of the room. Izuku picks up the egg. Well, I guess I'll need to take care of this one. When can I go home? Recovery Girl looks at her clipboard. You should be able to leave now if you're ready. She pulls out some papers. Already got the paperwork. Toshinori takes the papers. I'll drive you home. I'm sure your mother has some words for me. Oh, she definitely does. Izuku sighs. Once he had gotten home, Izuku had spent some time trying to get his egg taken care of. Wrapping it up in a blanket, sitting near a heater, all that. It was difficult when he could hear his mom chewing out Toshinori through the wall, so he ended up wearing his headphones. He ends up taking a nap, only waking up the next day. Everything is still sore, so he spends most of his time relaxing, his mom being kind enough to bring him food. He finally gets up a bit after dinner. Rek is on Izuku's, organizing the array of seashells, crystals, and other trinkets he had gathered while they were on the beach. Chip is in her blanket den, while has expanded to also go under his bed so she has more space. She's either organizing her gem hoard, or she's sleeping. Mighty walks over to Izuku. HM? What is it, Mighty? He gives him a drawing that seems like Izuku surrounded by something, probably the energy from yesterday. It looks poorly made, but then again Mighty doesn't have thumbs, so it's still pretty impressive. What's that for? Izuku tilts his head. Mighty holds out his hand, making a small ball of aura. He points at it and then points at the picture. Izuku blinks. Are you saying I used aura? Mighty nods, and Izuku puts his hand on his chin. Wait, I can remember feeling overwhelmed by emotions, and aura is emotion, so that makes sense. But why? Mighty just shrugs at that. Izuku sighs. Well, that isn't very helpful. He checks his phone, seeing the server still full of conversation. I'll relax for now, and we can test that stuff tomorrow. Mighty nods at him, sitting down on the edge of the bed. Izuku hands him the remote to the TV, since Mighty has learned how to use it in his own way. While Mighty searches for something to watch, Izuku sits down. Revelry Corvus. Why are there reports of a crater in the newly cleaned Dagoba beach? Pokemite, weren't you the one taking on the endeavor of cleaning that mass of waste? Eigengra Corvus. Yeah, we're worried about you. Pokemite, so my Quirk might have had some developments. Alien Queen, what happened? Come on, I'm curious. Baby Eraser, if you rush him, he'll probably just take longer to explain. Be patient, you drama goblin. Alien Queen, I'm not a drama goblin. I just can't help but be curious about everything happening around me. Pokemite, from what Mighty mentioned, I think my Quirk made me able to use his aura reading abilities. I accidentally absorbed the auras and, well, don't worry about what happened. Baby Eraser, I hope you realize that had the exact opposite effect that you intended. Mirror Image, you know we worry about you. You're our favorite analyst. We couldn't be nearly as great without your tips, after all. Together and apart, might as well just tell us what happened. We're already worried about you. Greenie. Pokemite. So the aura energy may have exploded out of me, and by the time Mighty helped me stop it, I was spasming. I also broke an arm and a few ribs. Baby Eraser, a few ribs is still too many to break, you know? Contagious laughter. I wish I was there to give you a hug, kiddo. You deserve one after all that. Pokemite. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. I'm still alive. Crimson Cat. Well, we need you to be more than alive. You've helped us all so much, so we want to see you become a big and strong hero. Contagious laughter. Yeah, I better see you up in the charts in the next few years. Even if I can't poach you to come to my school, I'll still think of you as one of my kids. Pokemite, yeah, I get it. I'll try to get this new development under control. Peekaboo. You helped me get my difficult Quirk under control. I know you can deal with yours. Pokemite. I know I can. I just hope I can get it done fast enough. Izuku sits on the beach, turning to Mighty. All right, what do you want me to do? It's just them, so he's only wearing shorts. It feels uncomfortable, but he doesn't need to mess up another outfit. Mighty writes in the sand with his claw, spelling out, Focus Quirk. Izuku nods, taking a moment to focus on the Quirk. He can feel the auras again, but he keeps his range small, though it takes far too much concentration. Can you hear me? Izuku blinks in surprise. Huh? What was that? He glances around, only to see Mighty looking just as surprised. This is me, Mighty. We're both seeing each other's auras, so we can speak through them. Mighty smiles at him. He smiles under his mask. That's great. This could be so useful for hero work, but I'm still having to focus a lot to keep my range limited. If I even stood up, I'd probably lose control. Mighty nods in understanding. Yes, it can be rather overwhelming. Don't limit your range, but don't let the emotions in. Mighty holds out his hands, the energy from his own aura flowing into it and becoming a blue sphere. So I need to guide it instead of letting it in? Mighty nods at him. Izuku holds his hands out, letting his range extend. Before the emotions can flow into him, He focuses on his own aura, coaxing the energy into a ball. It's small, but it's something. He throws it and it fizzles out midair. Not the best, but good enough for now. Now relax. The emotions should be fine now. Mighty lets go of his aura sphere, letting it fade away. Izuku takes a deep breath, letting it out slowly. He can still feel the emotions around him, but he isn't experiencing them. He can handle this. Mighty stands up, walking off. He comes back a moment later with a few boulders, sitting them on the sand. I want to test something. Try to use Rock Smash. Let your fighting spirit fill your fist, and strike. His paw gets balled up before it shoots out, cracking the boulder on impact. A second later, the boulder crumbles. All right, worth a shot. Izuku stands up, walking over to one of the boulders. He forms a fist, taking a deep breath. Focusing on his heroic desires, he imagines this boulder as rubble blocking him from saving civilians. Izuku's fist is launched forward, slamming into the boulder. He feels no pain, just victory as he watches the boulder crumble. He looks at his hand, seeing a pale orange energy surrounding his hand for a moment before it fades. It must protect my hands, then, so I can learn Pokémon moves, but only if a Pokémon teaches me them. Yes, it seems like it. I wonder if you can use other types, too. Only using fighting type wouldn't make sense. Mighty sits on one of the boulders. Izuku thinks for a moment. Well, let's try. He hears Mighty's protests in his mind, but he still runs to the edge, sticking his arm out and focusing on trying to use flamethrower. He isn't at all prepared for the result. White-hot flames blast out of his arm in a beam, practically melting his skin each second it's still in contact. He starts to scream as the pain hits his brain, but a chop to the back of his neck knocks him out quickly. Later, Izuku looks at Recovery Girl, his arm still recovering. Okay, in hindsight, maybe it was a bit dumb dash. Recovery Girl cuts him off. Dumb. That was completely idiotic. You just got out of the hospital yesterday and decided you needed an express trip back. She hits him in the ankles with her cane. I'm speechless, truly speechless. Despite being speechless, she continued to yell at him for another hour. Chapter 6. Protective Instincts. Izuku had learned that the aura reading didn't go away. Now that he had figured out how to properly harness it, it apparently decided he needed to keep it. It let him talk to Mighty, so he was fine with it. He decides to take all the Pokémon from his house to the beach for today. While he did this so he could learn from some of them, they're clearly still having fun. Mighty is busy playing tag with Rek and Chip. Rek keeps slipping under him, while Chip just sprints over to the other side of the beach. Izuku sits beside Springy. Don't like the sand, huh? She nods at him. Fair enough. I was wondering if you could teach me a fairy-type move. You probably don't know much, but I know you should have learned one when you evolved. Springy nods. She points at where Focus Quirk is still written in the sand and then points at things butterflies and herself. He takes a deep breath, slowly letting out as he tries to focus on cute things. Watching the flow of Springy's ribbons, he feels it. Nothing visible, but he can feel the fairy-type energy in the area around him. I think it worked. She smiles at him before slowly sitting down in the sand. Springy inhales in preparation before trying a move. Still, a pulse of pink energy comes out of her mouth as she lets out a cry. It doesn't hit him, yet he still feels a twinge of pain nevertheless. Izuku nods. Disarming voice. Let me try. He tries to focus fairy energy into his vocal cords as he takes a deep breath. Still, the same pink pulse came out of his mouth, and his voice sounded much more feminine then. Did it work? His voice takes a moment to return to normal. Springy nods at him, tilting her head and pointing her paw at a tree in the grass a bit away. Yeah, you can go. She quickly hops away. He calls over Chip, asking her for the same thing. She points at the Focus Quirk writing in the sand, then points at herself. Seems I have to focus every time then. Izuku focuses on dragons like Chip and so many other dragon types. The draconic energy in the air feels like it settles on his skin. He can feel the greed and desire coming off of it. What now, Chip? Chip takes a deep breath before roaring, purple and magenta breath firing out. It blasts back some sand, sending it flying. He stands up. I see, dragon breath. Izuku inhales deeply, feeling draconic energy solidify around his head. Before he roars animalistically, colorful breath blasting out of his mouth. Nice! Izuku looks at the others. I should probably just master these for now. Rek is probably too low-leveled to teach me much anyways. Chip runs beside him, smiling. Yeah, you did good, Chip. He pats her on the head. He spent the rest of the month training. Mighty was his best opponent for now, letting him test out the different moves. Rock Smash was simple but a useful physical attack, but without much room to innovate on it. Disarming Voice worked well as a distraction and could easily lead into other moves. Finally, Dragon Breath had a good range on it and could be devastating point blank. He also noticed something interesting about the moves. When used against most things, they were much more powerful, but against living creatures, they were dampened a decent amount. At least it meant he wouldn't accidentally kill someone. While he trained, his Pokémon did too. It was mainly Rek and Chip fighting against each other while Mighty occasionally helped. Springy seemed to prefer napping over fighting, which was fair enough. Toshinori had been pretty busy during this time, so Izuku hadn't gotten to show off his new skills. It was a bit frustrating, but he knew he could show off later if nothing else. Izu had kept a close eye on his egg, but it was taking longer to hatch than any other, though when he touched it, he felt an odd connection to it. It was weird, but he couldn't let himself get distracted by it. He had training to do after all. The month passed by quickly, filled with training of all kinds. The entrance exam was here and he was ready to succeed. Contagious laughter. Good luck on the entrance exams. All of you. Too bad I couldn't poach any of you for my school. Pokemite. Even if we aren't at your school, we still see you as a great mentor. We'll do great so you can see us be heroes. Alien Queen. I'm still super nervous for the writing portion, but at Pokemite gave some good study materials. I'll do good and make this server proud. Revelry Corvus. I won't let you all down. You have supported me during my deepest darkness, so I will harness it to win. Eigengra Corvus. Now isn't the time for poetry. It's time for victory. Let's do this. Baby Eraser. You all can say that I can't do that much. I bet it'll be biased for physical quirks, and all I have is my mental quirk. I'm screwed. Contagious laughter. Then earn your victory. Let them laugh at you and steal that victory out from under their noses. Soft Apex. Be resourceful. 2. Use everything around you if you can't rely on your quirk. Pokemite. You better not have been slacking on the weight training I assigned you. As long as you're not a thin stick, you can handle this. Baby Eraser. Yeah, I'll try my best. Crimson Cat. I had the same problem. My quirk needs blood, and I'm sure hurting other students will be forbidden. I'll just be sneaky, stealing my win like it's my chosen prize. Together and apart. Well, I'm going to win this for sure. Don't worry. If I see either of you, I'll give you a hand. Baby Eraser. You literally haven't even seen our faces. Together and apart. Oh, please. Even over text, you two have very distinctive vibes. Mirror Image. Well, I'm also pretty confident in my victory. I bet I can even get a higher score than you. Together and apart. Oh, it's on. I've been waiting to get back at you since we played Uno. Crimson Cat. Cut it out, we don't need a competitive back and forth in the chat again. The last one lasted 4 hours, which was 4 hours too long. Soft Apex. Stop texting and get going. I need to see you all up in the charts with @Contagious Laughter and I. So don't be slacking. Demolish this test and go plus ultra. Crimson Cat. Yeah, Dad. Alien Queen. Got it. Eigengra Corvus. Hell yeah. Baby Eraser. I'll try. Together and apart. I'll do the best. Mirror image? I'll do the best, of course. Revelry Corvus. Understood, sir. Pokemite. Yes, sir. Plus Ultra. Izuku's mom hugs him. Oh, my baby. I know you're going to do great. It's just too bad you couldn't bring your Pokemon with you. He smiles at her. It's okay, Mom. I'm lucky they let me wear all this. He gestures to his outfit. He has on a new scarf, mask, hat, boots, gloves, everything. Izuku even put on a visor so people couldn't see his eyes. I know. Now go, you don't want to be late. Love you. She lets go of him, giving him a wide smile even as her eyes water. All of his Pokemon are behind her. Rek waves at him while smiling happily. Chip grins, clapping her claws together. Mighty just smiles at him, nodding. You've got this, Izuku. Izuku nods, stepping back. Love you too, Mom. Love you guys. He runs off, trying to make sure he isn't late while also trying to pace himself. He stands in front of UA, looking up at the massive building. He had come here to be healed before, sure, but this is the first time he gets to choose to be here. Kakin passes by him, turning at him to glare. You better not fuck this up, nerd. He promptly walks off without waiting for a response. Just as weird as my last interaction with him. Izuku sighs, walking towards the building. A few steps in, he trips on a rock, and right as he decides to accept his fate, he can feel himself floating. Ha! A brown-haired girl comes into view. Sorry for using my quirk on you without permission. I just figured tripping on the first day would be bad luck. She releases her quirk before she glances at the tall building. Geez, that's pretty menacing, huh? I've got to get going. I don't want to be late. Bye. Izuku blinks as he just stands there. My first conversation with a girl my age in person, and I didn't say a word. He sighs. That tracks. He walks inside of the building, trying to find his way to the exam room. The written exam is just held in a bunch of random classrooms that were easy enough to find. The written exam was a bit challenging. He had done studying during the month of training, and it clearly paid off, but it was still difficult. It wasn't bad. Honestly, he appreciated the challenge. Some of the ethics questions were especially challenging. They were tricky and thought-provoking. While he wasn't the first to finish, he was still pretty early, so he just had to sit there for a while. Eventually, they were allowed to go to the auditorium, which was large enough to hold all of the different groups. Once everyone is in there, President Mike stands at the front, the screen behind him showing the UA logo. Hey there, listeners. I'm here to give you all the rundown of the practical exam. Are you ready? Yeah, Izuku yells out, but then shrinks in on himself when he realizes he's the only one who said anything. President Mike gives a beaming smile. You're my new favorite, little listener. The screen changes to show a city. The practical involves mock urban battles, with all you examinees going to different testing sites. The screen changes to show 3 different silhouettes. You gotta go to your testing site where you gotta fight against some robots. There are 3 types, each worth different point amounts. Just go through and take them out. But don't do any unheroic actions like harming other examinees. Someone in the crowd with blue hair and glasses stands up. Excuse me. On the printout, it shows 4 types of robots. This is the prestigious UA. So if this is an error, the staff should be ashamed. He turns around, pointing at Izuku. And you, in that ridiculous getup. Izuku tilts his head. And me. The boy glares at him. You've been a distraction this entire time with your muttering, shouting out, and dressing like that. Take this seriously or leave. President Mike steps forward. Whoa. Don't be so harsh. Examinee 7111. I was getting to that. The screen shows the silhouette of the final robot. That one is worth 0 points. It's an obstacle more than anything, so just get away from it. That's about all I can tell ya. Now go beyond. Plus Ultra. Plus Ultra. A few others join Izuku in shouting this time, and he can see President Mike grinning. Once he gets to the testing site, it's crowded. Everyone is trying to act brave and confident, but he can see their auras. Most of them are worried and a bit scared. He spots the person who helped him outside, so he tries to walk over to thank her. A hand grabs onto his shoulder, making him flinch and turn, seeing the blue-haired boy from earlier. Are you really trying to distract her? Izuku grabs the boy's wrist, yanking his hand away. Don't touch me. The second the siren goes off, he starts running, slipping between people to get past the crowd. Once he spots a one-point bot, Izuku uses Rock Smash. His fist hits the hull, sending cracks across the whole robot. Ducking an attack, he rock smashes the same spot, making a hole in the robot. It seems to be enough to decommission it, so he starts sprinting again. He finds a two-pointer, rock smashing it in the cameras. While it flails around, trying to hit him, he rips out some wires to end it. Got it. Cameras are better to aim for. A few moments later, he finds a three-pointer which has no visible cameras. He rips off his scarf and mask before stuffing them in his hoodie pocket, sprinting towards the robot. Izuku exhales dragon breath, corroding the metal some, but not doing much. The three-pointer attacks, firing out missiles. He manages to dodge them, watching them explode into pink confetti that sends a piece of rubble flying. More force than heat, probably. One of its metal fists almost hits him before he rolls away. He moves to another spot, rock smashing it and then letting loose a dragon breath. The draconic energy seeps into the cracks, destroying it from the inside. Much more effective. Now let's repeat that. Izuku dashes from robot to robot, destroying them. He ignored one-pointers, going exclusively for two- and three-pointers. Rock Smash and Dragon Breath destroyed any he came across, even if he got hit a few times. But of course, he couldn't ignore others. He spots someone with purple hair that defies gravity, getting attacked by a three-pointer. Missiles shoot out at the defenseless boy. Watch out! Izuku roars out, Dragon Breath making all of the missiles explode midair. The boy ran over to him, gasping for breath. Fuck! Thanks for the help, Pokemite. I'll just die now. Ha! Izuku blinks in surprise. Oh, baby eraser. Let me just... He picks up a long piece of sharp metal, handing it to Baby Eraser. Here you go. Aim for any opening. Baby Eraser groans. I still hate all of you for that name. He runs towards the robot, getting behind it to shove the metal into it. Since the robot starts sparking and falling over, he probably hit the machinery inside. Izuku grins. Good job, just keep doing that. I wish you luck. He runs off, taking down another three-pointer with a careful rock smash and dragon breath combo. He gets into a flow with this, destroying robot after robot. He lost count of his points a while ago, but he keeps going until something changes. The entire cityscape shakes as something enters. Looking up, Izuku can see the zero-pointer towering above everyone. Of course, it can't just be normal size, it has to be excessive. He's about to run when he hears someone calling for help. Turning around, he can see it's the girl from earlier. Baby Eraser is trying to help her, but it's clear he doesn't have the muscle to move the rubble. Izuku sprints, his feet pounding against the concrete. He rock-smashed rubble behind him, giving him small bursts of speed until he got there. What's the problem? The girl looks up at him. I'm stuck, and I can't use my quirk on any of the rubble with how my hands are trapped. Baby Eraser sighs, letting go of the rock he was trying to lift. I'm too weak to move any of it. He rears his fists back, carefully aiming his rock smashes to break the largest pieces of rubble. What does your quirk do? I can touch something and make it weightless, but I get nauseous if I use it on myself or use it for too long. She speaks while Baby Eraser pulls her out. Izuku sighs. Well, skin contact would cause issues with my quirk, so I'll go with my other idea. Baby Eraser, you help her. I'll do my thing. Baby Eraser rolls his eyes. I have a name, you know? He still listens, helping her get away. He carefully climbs up a building, seeing the zero-pointer's arm trying to hit him as soon as he gets to the top. Moving out of the way, he lets it land so he can hop on it. He sprints up the arm until he gets all the way to the neck. There's a door on the back of the neck, much sturdier than the rest of the metal. Trying the handle, it's definitely locked. Guess I'll just go around it. Izuku repeatedly smashes the wall beside the door, eventually breaking a hole in it. He crawls through the hole to see a room filled with wires. Perfect. He opens up the door for an escape route before turning back and roaring, filling the room with draconic breath. He sprints out, watching the machine stop as the head begins to spark. I probably should have had a plan for how to get down. The head explodes, sending him flying. Izuku wakes up with a gasp, quickly coughing up blood. Looking around, he's in a small crater, surrounded by a small sphere of blue energy. Protect. I used protect? Clearly not well. He coughs up more blood, quickly dropping protect. Literally everything hurts. It's taking every ounce of his will not to pass out again. His outfit is fine, not even ripped, but even his bones are hurting right now. He crawls out of the crater, only to see Eraserhead approaching. Eraserhead stares down at him as he starts to get closer. Do you need medical attention? I don't see any injuries on you, but you also still fell several stories. We don't need a student dying. He tries to act nonchalant, but Izuku can see the worry in his aura. Izuku vomits up some blood. I may not look like it, but I am in so much pain. You can take me to Recovery Girl while I pass out. Despite the hero's protests, Izuku still passes out the second he stops resisting it. Izuku wakes up in a hospital bed again, though this time it feels much easier to sit up. Glancing to his side, he can see a Chansey. Oh, you hatched. Did you help heal me? She nods before hopping away. Recovery Girl enters the room a moment later. Midoriya Izuku. What the hell happened out there? He sighs. I just wanted to help my fellow examinees. I didn't expect to fall like that. As for what happened there, he leans back, feeling his bones still aching a little. I think I activated Protect on instinct. It's a move any Pokémon can learn that lets them block attacks, so it makes sense I could learn it. Clearly mine didn't work as well. Recovery Girl pulls out a clipboard. Your nerves and bone marrow were severely damaged. Luckily Curry here could heal those injuries, but it was still far too much for a simple entrance exam. Izuku has to take a second to even process how much damage had been done to him internally. I think that move is my quirk trying to use all it can to keep me alive. That fall would have killed me. He winces at the thought. I'm going to push for more methods to prevent stuff like this. She sighs, sitting down the clipboard. So many students could have done this. We're lucky you were the only one who tried. He stands up, groaning as he stretches. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Can I go now? Recovery Girl nods. Thanks to Curry, you aren't even as tired as you would usually be, so no need to sleep here any longer. Go on. And I better not see you here again until you're enrolled as a student. Got it? Got it. Izuku grins before leaving, still feeling his bones aching a bit with every step. Izuku walks into his house, deciding not to tell his mom about almost dying. Hey Mom. She sits bowls of food on the table. Oh, I just finished fixing Katsudon. She smiles at him. How did it go? He sits down at the table. I think I did good. I tried my best, at least. He starts to eat his food. Mighty sits at the table, eating some curry instead of the Katsudon. Chip also has a seat at the table, but she eats some raw steak instead. Rek is just taking a nap, since he eats trash, not food. His mom sits down, eating her food. They talk about how the exam went and lots of other small talk as they eat. It's relaxing after the long day he had, even if he can tell her work probably made her tired too. After they're done eating, he helps out with the dishes despite her protests. He wants to be helpful after all. Once that's finished, he goes back to his room to talk to his friends. Pokemite. So, did anyone else almost die on their exam day? Contagious laughter. Don't exaggerate, kiddo. I'm sure it didn't go that bad. Baby Eraser. Unfortunately, he isn't exaggerating. I watched him get launched off a robot's shoulder and fall several stories at Mock Jesus. I almost fought Present Mike to go check on him. Pokemite. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. Sure, my bones still hurt, but I'm alive. Peekaboo, what did you even do to fall that much? Together and apart. Oh, you're the one who blew up the zero-pointer? Aren't you Greenie? That would explain it. Alien Queen, how the hell did you survive a fall like that? Pokemite, apparently I instinctively used Protect. I was fine on the outside, but Eraserhead definitely did see me vomit blood. Together and apart. Greenie, what the hell? Anxiety manifested. It was that bad. I don't think my entrance exam had any issues that bad back when we did it. Contagious laughter. You just can't catch a break. Huh, kiddo? You get a moment to relax. Then the next moment you gotta fight with all your might to survive. Pokemite. Was that a pun? Contagious laughter. Hee hee, smiley face. Izuku chuckles, leaning away from his phone. He's sitting in his room now. He's just relaxing, texting his friends, some YouTube playing in the background, nice and relaxing. Crack. He whips his head around, seeing his egg starting to crack. Wait, what dash he runs over, sitting next to it. The cracks slowly spread, eventually covering the full thing. He waits patiently, seeing the light flash as the egg shatters. Once the light fades, there's a floating creature. It's pink, curled up in a ball like an embryo. Its eyes are closed for the moment, still asleep even after birth. Izuku blinks in surprise as he stares at it. It can't be, it's I've got a Mew. Chapter 7, Mythical Hatchling. The Mew wakes up, flying into his arms and smiling. Izuku flinches at the touch before looking down at it. I never had the power to make legendaries or mythicals before. I guess it might be one for all again. He thinks for a moment. I'll name you Ace. Ace floats out of his arms, spinning around happily. Mighty tilts his head. A Mew? I guess it's fitting with your quirk. Chip looks up at Ace, holding up a shiny gem. Rek waves at Ace, giving her a goofy smile. Izuku grabs his phone. Yeah, I can kinda see it. Now let me send a pic to the server. They're gonna love this. Pokemite, Mew.jpg. Contagious laughter. Wait, you got a Mew. How? When? Pokemite. So my quirk might have activated on myself back when I broke myself with Aura, and just now it hatched into a Mew. I named her Ace. Anxiety manifested. She's cute, but I thought your quirk couldn't make legendaries or mythicals. Mirror image. Well, that's unfair. The rest of us are having to get by with what we have and you get a Mew. Baby Eraser, you're just salty because you failed to catch the shiny Mew in the ROM hack you played last week. Mirror image. Shut up. Pokemite. She isn't even shiny, and you're so skilled on your own anyways. Alien Queen. Oh, come on, don't act like you aren't strong too. You cleaned up a whole beach. You deserve that Mew. Revelry Corvus. A creature with immense potential fits you well with your versatility and skill. Eigengrau Corvus. Yeah, Axe is perfect for you. Soft Apex. What's perfect for you all is sleep. Get to bed. All of you. Alien Queen. It's only 3 a.m. Soft Apex. If you all don't go to bed, I'll find where you live and stuff melatonin down your gullets. Pokemite. I stayed up later than I thought, so alright. Good night. He turns off his phone, sitting on his bedside table. Ace lays on his chest, asleep. He was uncomfortable with it at first, but now it feels so familiar and comfy. All his other Pokemon are already in bed. Mighty is sleeping on the bed beside him. Chip is probably asleep under the bed. And Rek is sleeping in Izuku's trash can like always. At least they're all comfy in here. Izuku decides to just go ahead and sleep. He turns the TV on a YouTuber with a monotone voice before laying back. The next week is full of waiting. Izuku checks the mailbox daily to see if they've gotten anything at all. The rest of the time is spent letting his Pokemon train on the beach, since they're still eager to be stronger. It seems like Ace knows all the same moves that Izuku knows, which makes sense with the odd connection he feels with her. She also happens to be especially mischievous, especially loving to play hide and seek. It seems like she doesn't like playing pranks on family, which was good for him. Toshinori was still busy, though Izuku still didn't know what kept him so busy. Either way, he kept waiting. Something finally changed when he checked his mailbox a full week after the entrance exam. It's from UA. He runs inside, holding the letter. His mom turns to him. Oh, open in. Let's see what's inside. She sits on the couch. Spring is on the ceiling fan above them, asleep. Rek is sitting on the table, bouncing excitedly. Chip sits beside the table, while Mighty sits on the couch. Izuku sits down between Mighty and his mom, tearing open the letter and throwing the trash to Rek. A large metallic disc clatters onto the table. Ha! Dash! A projection of All Might appears. I am here, as a projection. Izuku blinks in surprise. Wait, what? This is from UA, right? The projection keeps going. I had paperwork and all that for the past while, so I've been a bit busy, and I apologize for that. I actually came to this town to work at UA. And what? Someone starts gesturing from the corner of the screen. Oh, come on, fine. I'll hurry it up. You business students and your efficiency. All Might sighs. First off, you passed the written exam with flying colors. As for the practical exam, you got 45 villain points. Already a passing score, but that wasn't even all. The screen shifts to show two different recordings. Both the brown-haired girl and Baby Eraser asked if they could give him points for how he helped them. All Might grins wider. Heroes are meant to save people, so of course we have rescue points. Between the many examinees you helped, you gained a total of 100 rescue points. 40 for all the random students you helped, and 60 for destroying the zero-pointer. This gives you 145 points total, the highest in UA history. Obviously, you're accepted. This is your Hero Academia. I'll see you soon. The projection shuts off. His mom hugs him immediately. Oh, you did great, Izuku. I knew you would. He smiles, hugging her back. I actually got in. Rek claps happily on the table. Chip just grins at him, and Ace flips around in the air excitedly. Mighty leans forward, giving him a big smile. I knew you could do it. Izuku's phone vibrates with a text. Toshinori says he wants to meet me at the beach tonight. Hopefully some good news. His mom lets go of him. Well then you better make sure to go. I'll make some celebratory katsudon again for dinner. Alright, I'll text my friends. They probably got in too. He walks back to his room. Pokemite. I got accepted. Revelry Corvus at Eigengrau Corvus and I both got accepted as well. Eigengrau Corvus. Hell yeah. Baby Eraser. Surprisingly, I managed to scrape by and get accepted. Alien Queen. I got in too. Mirror Image. Of course I got in, and I got 11th place. Together and apart. Well, I got in too, and I'm in 10th place, so I did better than you. Crimson Cat. I got in too, and I think you all didn't realize who was in first place. Mirror Image. Let me guess, some hotshot with a flashy quirk like always? Crimson Cat. Nope. Izuku Midoriya. K.A. Pokemite. Together and apart. Damn Greenie. You beat all those hotshots, that's damn good. Pokemite. Oh come on, it isn't that impressive. Crimson Cat. He got 45 villain points and 100 rescue points, and I heard a staff member say it was the highest in UA history. Baby Eraser. Don't be humble, you deserve to be proud after that. I only barely scraped by. Pokemite. It could have been a fluke. You all did great too. Mirror Image. Maybe we need to get our resident green bean into therapy for all the self-degradation. Pokemite. Oh look, dinner's done, gotta go by. Together and apart. You're a slippery little shit, Greenie. After dinner, Izuku heads to the beach with all his Pokémon. When he gets there, he can already see Toshinori with a, "Is that a Kubfu?" Tashinori blinks at him. Oh, is that the species name of this one? I just called him Kavacha. Kavacha hides behind Tashinori's leg before sniffing the air and deciding it's safe to come out, looking up at Izuku. Well, I can tell your egg hatched. Mine did too. He points at Ace. Now, what did you need to tell me? I have a lot to show you too. Tashinori sits down on the sand. Well, first, figured I'd let you know I wasn't part of UA's judges, and I made sure to tell the principal to judge you fairly. Izuku sits down too, his Pokémon going to train and Kavacha following them. Good. I didn't want to cheat or anything with my connections. Though to be fair, I didn't even know you'd be working at UA. I'll be honest. I had accepted the UA job offer to look for a successor. He looks at Izuku. That was before I found you, of course. He nods. I won't let you down. Now, let me show you some moves I learned. Izuku spends the next hour or so showing off his different moves to Tashinori. He shows how he uses them for combos, breaking rubble, everything until he has to go home so he can finally sleep. Later that week, Izuku is out on the beach again, most of his Pokémon off playing. He sits down with Mighty. Alrighty, teach me a steel-type move. Mighty chuckles. Impatient, are you? Well, like always, you first have to focus on things of that type. Izuku takes a deep breath, feeling for the metal on Mighty's body, and the metal in nearby signposts. He can feel it now, but this feels heavier on his senses. He can even feel the iron in his blood. Got it. Standing up, Mighty holds his paw out. For this, you have to focus on claws. For you, imagine your fingernails lengthening, becoming more solid and sharp, until they're a force to be reckoned with. Metal claws extend out of his paw, and he slashes the sand with them. Just need to use metal claw then. Got it. Izuku focuses, watching metallic claws slowly extend from his hand, a translucent gray energy surrounding them and his hand as protection. He slashes the sand, watching it get blown away by it. You need practice to do it faster, but other than that, good. Mighty starts to walk away. I'll send Chip over. Izuku watches Chip walk over. Alright, what do I need to focus on for the ground type? Chip points at the sand and nearby dirt. I guess that makes sense. Izuku focuses on the sand beneath his feel and the dirt not too far away. A moment after, he can feel the ground-type energy permeating it all. What next? Chip holds out her claws, lowering them down before throwing them up into the air. Some sand a good bit away flies up, spinning in a miniature sandstorm from the action. Izuku squints. I think that's sand tomb? Let me try. He lowers his hands down before tossing them up into the air, making a miniature sandstorm a bit away. Nice! I did it! He pets Chip. Tell Rek to come here, please. She walks away, sending Rek over. He clearly knows what he's here for already, pointing at himself and the sky. So for poison, you and pollution, I guess? He thinks of toxic smog and sludge, smoke and grime filling his thoughts. Once he can feel the energy, it's nearly suffocating with how much there is in the air. Rek pokes his leg as he coughs. Yeah, I'm fine. What now? Rek takes a deep breath before closing their mouth, leaning back for a few seconds before shooting forward and spitting a spray of acid. Izuku nods. Okay. Acid spray. I can do that. He takes a deep breath before closing his mouth, letting spit build up in his mouth. He pushes the poison energy of the air into the spit before spraying the spit out a decent distance, watching it melt the sand. He grins. All right, now I just need a dark-type move. Should I just focus on shadows and other dark things? Rek nods, scooting closer to him. Izuku focuses on shadows and things like violence. The energy he can feel is within the shadows under the trees and buildings, but also in the auras of people with their negativity. What move do you got for me? Rek bares his teeth, which are only two small ones. Darkness grows in his mouth, forming solid dark fangs which Rek uses to bite the air. Izuku steps forward. Bite! All right. He bares his teeth, feeling the dark energy grow over his teeth. shielding them while also allowing for sharp fangs. Once it's finished, he bits the air. The energy might block it from counting as skin contact. That's helpful. Glancing over, he can see Ace practicing with the moves he just learned. Alrighty then, time to train. And train he did. Every day he had left, he fought against his Pokémon and tested out the limits of the moves, trying to see what changed from it being brought into the real world. His first day of UA came up faster than he expected though, and soon enough he had run out of time to train. The first day was here. Chapter 8. Reinforced Friendships. Izuku stands in the front door, his mom fretting over him. Do you have your bag? Your hat? Your scarf? He nods. Yes, I've got everything. I need to get going before my anxiety makes me chicken out of it. Izuku hugs her, waving goodbye to his Pokémon too. Love you all. All of his Pokémon wave back at him, though Ace has a mischievous look in her eyes that he tries not to focus on. His mom waves back, her eyes already watering. Love you, sweetie. Have a great first day at UA. Izuku runs off again, trying to get to the train station. Being late on the first day would leave a bad impression. Once he gets to UA, he almost gets lost inside. The building is so large, somehow he ended up on the opposite side of the building from where he needed to be. Why couldn't they have given me a map? The tile below him opens up, two white paws coming out of it with a map. Here you go. Principal Nedzu sticks his head out. Are those secret tunnels you're in? He takes the map. Nedzu grins. You'll gain access once you're worthy. He falls back into the tunnel, the tile closing above him. He sighs, looking at the map. That just happened. After that, he's able to use the map to navigate himself to the 1A classroom. He decides to just go in before he can get nervous. Kaken sits in his seat with his feet propped up, a Torracat curled up in his lap. The blue-haired kid from the test is yelling at him. That is so very disrespectful to UA's property. And you brought an animal on campus, which breaks rule number dash. Hey jackass, Scorch is my therapy cat, so stop fucking yapping. Fucking ignorant prick. Kaken pets her, and she purrs as she rubs against his hand. The boy starts making almost robotic chopping motions. That language is unbecoming of a UA student. Kaken sighs. I'll cuss however much I want. What's your name? Glasses? And before you ask mine, it's Bakugu. I am Ida Tenya, from Semi-Private Academy. He keeps making those chopping motions, looking more like a robot than a human. Scorch makes a noise that sounds like snickering. Kaken glares at the boy. Ah, rich kid I see. I don't need your snobby bullshit. Get that stick out of your ass. Izuku takes another step into the room only for Ida to turn and run over to him, probably trying to avoid dealing with what Kaken said. Izuku flinches away from him as he speaks. It's you. You must have figured out the secrets of the exam before I could, though you still aren't following dress code. He steps back, trying to get a bit more distance between the two of them. Dash. Back up from him, Robo-Boy. Turning around, Izuku sees a girl with pink skin, pink hair, black scara, and yellow horns. Izuku blinks. Alien Queen. Ida starts yelling again. It's very rude to call strangers things like that, especially to their faces dash. Alien Queen shushes him. It's just my username online, hush. Just call me Mina, Green Bean. She grins, patting him on his head, even if it's covered by a hood. All right, and you know that you can call me Midoriya. He smiles at her, though his mask hides it. Behind her, he watches someone else enter, a boy with a head of a crow or raven. Revelry Corvus. The boy nods at him. Yes, that's me indeed. I'm glad you managed to recognize me. Just call me Tokoyami. It's easier to speak than the mouthful of a username I chose. A shadowy creature comes out of him with a similar bird head. Hey, it's our favorite Pokemon boy. Call me Dark Shadow. Izuku smiles under his mask. Eigengrau Corvus, it's you. I almost forgot you two were attached. Dark Shadow grins as she moves closer. Yep, I'm stuck with him, but I still have my own phone, so good enough. Tokoyami rolls his eyes. You had stolen my old phone the very moment I stopped using it. If I hadn't reset it for you, you would have shattered it in your anger of trying to get it to open. Ah, you all are adorable. A girl enters the classroom with cat-like eyes, her hair tied into two messy buns. Izuku waves at her. Crimson Cat, I'm glad you're in our class. Do you have your drink? Call me Toga. As for the bag, she holds up a blood bag. Dad wouldn't have let me leave home without it. He doesn't want me trying to drink from a classmate like I did to him the first time. Mina snorts. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. At least he still cares about you, though he still seems a bit scary. Izuku adjusts his scarf. He's not called Soft Apex for nothing. He's scary but nice, and very passionate if what Toga said about her last training session is true. He turns as he hears someone come through the door again. It's the brown-haired girl from the entrance exam. You with the scarf. I remember you. You saved me. He rubs the back of his neck. Ah, I didn't do that much. Baby Eraser did most of the work dash. If you came here to get all friendly, you can just leave. What looks like a yellow caterpillar crawls across the floor before standing up at the podium and opening. It took you all 5 seconds too long to notice me. It's irrational. Time like that could be valuable in a dangerous situation. He sighs. I'm Aizawa Shota, your homeroom teacher. Put these on and meet me in the training field or you're expelled. He sits several gym uniforms on the desk before leaving. That was Eraserhead, the same one who had seen him vomit blood and then pass out. Hopefully that wasn't too bad of a first impression. Once the class recovers from the shock, everyone rushes to grab a uniform, heading to the locker room. Izuku takes his into the bathroom, changing in the privacy of it instead, still keeping his accessories on because he's a coward. Eventually everyone makes it outside, Aizawa-sensei looking at the class and sighing. 2 minutes longer than it should have taken. You all are UA students. I expect improvement next time. Aizawa-sensei holds a softball in his head. Your previous schools had you do fitness tests without your quirks. That's illogical. He tosses the ball into the air, catching it as it falls. Genes can affect scores as much as quirks. It's best to let people use everything at their disposal, even if it puts some at a disadvantage. The brown-haired girl glances around confused. Aren't we meant to be in orientation? It's orientation day, after all. We don't have time for that. Aizawa-sensei sighs. The orientation is full of information you could get from the school website. I'm allowed to run my class however I want, and I chose the rational and logical option. We don't need to waste time. Now, back to what I was saying. He turns to Kaken. Bakuguru, how far could you throw in middle school? Kaken grins, petting Scorch. 67 meters. Scorch meows in confirmation, rubbing on Kaken's leg. Aizawa-sensei tosses him the ball. Get in the circle and try it with your quirk this time. Don't hold back. Got it, teach. Wait here, Scorch. Kaken walks to the circle, taking a moment to stretch and work up more of a sweat. Once he does that, he steps back as far as he can, rearing his hand back. He shoots forward, launching the ball with an explosion the second it leaves his hand. The ball soars through the air into the distance. The device in Aizawa-sensei's hand beeps. 705.2 meters. His classmates start talking, chatting about how cool this is going to be. The second someone says the word fun, Izuku sees Aizawa-sensei's eye twitch. Aizawa-sensei looks at them. Fun? You're not here for fun and games. You're here to train to be heroes, saviors of the public. But if you want fun and some competition, he takes a step forward. Then be prepared to compete, because whoever comes in last place will be immediately expelled. The entire class starts yelling, all protesting over each other. That's not fair. He isn't sure who even said that with so many people speaking. Aizawa-sensei glares at them to shut them all up. Are natural disasters fair? Are villain attacks fair? No, they aren't. Life isn't fair and I plan to show you that. Now let's start the first test. While the first group goes for the 50-meter dash, Izuku feels something poke him in the side. He turns to see Ace, floating there. What, you're supposed to be at home? He keeps his voice down so he's just whisper yelling at her. Kaken walks over. What are you yapping about? Nerd. Is that a fucking Mew? Izuku covers Ace with his body as he turns to Kaken. What are you talking about? Kaken? There's nothing here. How do you even know that they're Pokémon anyways? He tilts his head. I never told you. You are the shittiest at lying. He rolls his eyes. And I figured it out on my own. I'm not an idiot. As soon as Scorch evolved, I got curious. Now show me the damn Mew. He sighs, stepping aside. Ace floats into his arms. This is Ace. I have absolutely no clue how she got to UA. I left her at home. Kaken steps forward. You fucking lucky bastard. Getting a Mew. How many others you got? Even if he's acting a bit nicer, he's still clearly Kaken. I have 4 Pokémon of my own, though Mom has one too. He pets Ace, watching her nuzzle his hand. Scorch gives him and Ace a curious look. Kaken is about to speak, but Aizawa-sensei calls them over for the test. Kaken glares at him. We'll talk later, damn it. Izuku walks over with him, Ace following right behind him. He gets right behind the starting line, crouching down. Aizawa-sensei looks at Ace and sighs. I don't even want to ask. Just get ready to run. A machine signals for them to start. He starts running on all fours, forming metal claws to dig into the ground and pull him further. It feels foreign yet natural, on all fours leaping forward again and again. He keeps going until he launches himself over the finish line. The scoreboard says his time is 6.14 seconds. Good enough. Next up is grip strength. None of his moves could help him, so he just gets a score of around 60 kilograms. Above average, at least. The standing long jump gives him an idea. Hey Ace, wanna help? She nods as he pulls his mask down. He gets to the sandbox, jumping towards it before flipping around, firing off a dragon breath. Ace shoots one right at his, and the two colliding repels Izuku back. He lands on the other side of the sandbox, pushing himself off the ground. Good job. He pulls his mask back up. All of the other events he goes through pretty normally. He can't use his quirk for most of them, and even Ace has her limitations, so he settles for above-average scores. Then he gets to the ball throw. Izuku glances at Aizawa-sensei. Would you disqualify me if I had Ace carry it? Aizawa-sensei nods. Yes, I would've. He sighs. Smart thinking, though. Since it survived Kaken's explosion, he has an idea. He pulls down his mask, focusing dark energy on his teeth to cover them in fangs. He uses Bite on the ball, holding it in between the sharp teeth. Carefully trying not to let go of Bite, he focuses draconic energy in his lungs, feeling more of it build up than he expected. Dragon breath fires out of him, much stronger than intended. The ball gets launched away while he's slammed into the ground by the force. The breath doesn't stop until he feels his quirk getting cancelled. Izuku sits up, coughing into his hand. When he pulls his hands away, there's a few droplets of blood. Got it. Can't use 2 at once still. Damn, that hurts. Dark Shadow moves over beside him. Are you all right? Come on. You can't die during class. You've already gotten hurt enough. Ace is also fretting over him, floating right beside Dark Shadow. It's all right, Dark Shadow. Only a bit of blood. His voice is much more raspy than he likes. He turns to Aizawa-sensei. What's my score? Aizawa-sensei looks at him. You got 700.8 meters. That was incredibly reckless, kid. Why shouldn't I just expel you now? He tries to act tough and cold, but Izuku can still see the worry and curiosity in his aura, though it's mixed with annoyance. Izuku wipes his bloody hand on the dirt before standing up. I made sure to only test this here in a safe environment. Can I please go to the nurse after we get the results? He coughs again, blood droplets falling onto the ground. Aizawa-sensei sighs. Fine, get back in the group for now. He walks back to the group, waving off their concern as he pulls his mask back up. His throat still hurts like hell, it feels raw and itchy. He can even feel some cuts in his mouth. A holographic display shows them the results. Izuku can see himself at a respectable 7th place. In last place is a girl named Hagakure, who seems to be the invisible girl. She's already panicking, everyone else trying to comfort her. Also, I lied. No one is getting expelled. He gives a wide, creepy grin that looks unnatural on his face. It was a logical ruse. Hagakure sighs in relief, her clothes showing the tension leave her body as she leans forward. Phew, I thought I was a goner. The entrance exam was hard enough. Aizawa-sensei turns away. You all can go to lunch and get some food. I'll go take a nap. Your schedules are in the classroom. He walks off. Mina turns to Izuku. I'll get the group together at a lunch table. You go get healed. Izuku nods. Yeah. My throat hurts so much. He walks off. He wanted to say more, but speaking feels like too much effort for now, so he just walks away. After a scolding from Recovery Girl and a healing from Curry, Izuku walks to the lunchroom. He can already see Mina, Tokoyami, Dark Shadow, Toga, and Baby Eraser sitting there along with 2 others. He sits down with them holding his lunch. He has to pull his mask down to actually eat. I'm all healed up now. Now who's who? Ace floats into his arms. A girl with dark green hair and sharp teeth grins. I'm Tokage. She turns to the boy beside her. You know, together and apart. The one who got a better score than you at the entrance exam. The boy with blonde hair shoves her away. Oh hush. I'll get back at you for that. I'm Monoma, aka Mirror Image. Quite a clever username of mine. Baby Eraser rolls his eyes. Yeah. I'm Shinso, so you all don't need to keep calling me Baby Eraser. Izuku grins. All right, Baby Eraser. Shinso just groans. Mina leans forward. Let me guess, you 3 got stuck in 1B, huh? The rest of us got 1A. Monoma nods, taking a bite out of his onigiri. I had planned to make whatever class we got the best in UA history, but since we're split, he grins, leaning back. We'll just have to make both classes the best. Shisno yawns. Vlad King has tried to focus on making us compete and have a class rivalry, but honestly cooperation sounds better. He eats some of his rice. I agree. Tokoyami has his own packed lunch, which he doesn't let any of them look in, moving the container each time they try to look. He even leans in so they can't see what he's biting into. Constant rivalry sounds tiring. Dark Shadow floats around, taking bites out of people's food. Yeah, let's all just be great heroes together. Toga giggles, reaching over to pet Dark Shadow. I think Vlad King might be salty he didn't get to have me in his class. He probably thought since we both had blood quirks, he should have had me. Izuku nods. Yeah, he might have even tried to adopt you if another hero didn't beat him to it. He pets Ace, feeding her some of his rice. Tokage leans back, chomping into her onigiri. Who knows? You might even tell us who Soft Apex is one day. I know Greenie is just dying to know. He spent hours searching for clues for every hero under the sun. Hey! Izuku pouts. I only spent 3 days last week. Toga slurps up some of her soba before speaking. Still not telling you. I like leaving you guessing anyways. All of them keep chatting throughout lunch, talking about random things like they always did on the server. Even if Izuku feels nervous being surrounded by many people, he also feels safe with them. Once lunch ends, they all end up going home. Izuku walks to the train station with Mina and Tokoyami until they eventually go their own ways home. He's already looking forward to tomorrow.